Hey, welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to a misty morning in Lima, Peru. This is the TAM Brazil. That's the PMDG livery. You know that sometimes when you download outside liveries, it's getting a little bit funky. So still LATAM, that's the old livery. Now it's LATAM, and there's a subsidiary in Peru for LATAM, so LATAM Peru. And today it's going to be LATAM Peru flight 2446, which I believe is normally done on 319 or 320, going to Bogota, Colombia. Good morning, good evening. We have OJ, Subsonic, Ralba, Virtual Pilot, Airbear 9, Connor. Hello guys, hope you're all doing well today. So today is going to be interesting because it's landing pretty much at the limit of the aircraft in terms of landing altitude. The maximum you can land in a 777 is 8,400 feet, and the airport in Bogota is just under that at 8,300 feet and something. So we are just at the limit of what the aircraft can do. And actually, without getting too technical, but you can actually only land when the QNH is greater than 1013. If the QNH is less than 1013, then you cannot land, because then it kind of takes the altitude of the airport higher than the 8,400 feet, because the to be technical, the 8,400 feet is the pressure altitude. So as soon as it goes, the QNH goes down below 1013, then the pressure altitude increases. So there you go, that's the technical bit out of the way. So yeah, really taking it to the limit today for the landing altitude. This has to do, I guess, with the pressurization system. I cannot cope otherwise. Hey, the Journeyan, how are you doing? Good evening in Indonesia, or late afternoon at least. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back. So yeah, flight plan today is interesting as well, because we're gonna fly over the Andes, some mountains. So quite interesting to see the mountains. So normally I would fly in kind of real time, but just to see the mountains, I've kind of increased the time. So I set it to daylight. When I actually set up the sim, it was kind of dawn, but now by the time things are going, it's early morning in the sim. But actually there, I think at the moment it's still something like 4 o'clock in the morning or something silly. So hey Matteo, how you doing? Race Division, good day. How are you doing, sir? Welcome back. So yeah, we'll do daylight settings to see the mountains. As you can see on the flight plan, roughly the main points today, 2 hours and 27 minutes, 37,000 feet. Not too heavy, but that's of course because it's a short flight. As I said, the mountains as we cross onto Colombia, and I think maybe can't remember, into Ecuador as well. So we'll have a look exactly at the route. It's a little bit unfamiliar for me, so we'll just have a look around. Yeah, doing well, Matteo. Thank you very much. Quite excited about this flight today. We'll see how it goes. Weather, as you can see out here in Lima, is a little bit misty. Probably a bit of moisture coming in from the Pacific. And it's a little bit the same actually in Colombia, although it's a different kind of weather pattern and weather influence, but it's a little bit misty as well, but that's up in the mountains. so that's maybe why. The alternate is Medellin, Jose Maria Cordova, Sierra Kilo Romeo Golf. And the weather there is gonna be also a little bit misty, so that's that. The one thing that's interesting there, as I said initially, is the mountains here as we leave Peru, and then of course the at the very end, landing at about 8,400 feet altitude, so quite high airport as well. This actually reminds me a bit of the profile of a Tour de France stage when you go up and down, up and down. It's a little bit like this. So there you go. That's the flight plan for today. So let me get rid of this. And yeah. Yeah, Dublin can be a little bit bumpy. Hey, French pilot, how are you doing, sir? Bonjour, ça va? Tout va bien? So yeah, otherwise, yeah, same, really. Nothing really major to report. We have live weather connected on VATSIM. All is good. So without further ado, we'll jump in the flight deck and get cracking. So I kind of modified a little bit the scenery because there was a bit of a problem. There's not a lot of sceneries for that place, and then there's a bit of an issue with scenery conflicts and stuff like that.
Ghost Rider requesting a flyby.
Hey, 777 Blake.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Thank you for the follow.
No, ma'am. This is not.
Hey, Mateo 738. How you doing?
But it's time to buzz the
Welcome
tower.
back. I kind of made up something for the airport, which kind of looks a little bit like the, at least from the layout point of view, that looks like the actual airport. So we'll see how it goes. Right, so let's jump with FS to crew, like always. PF events.
Hi, Captain. How are you today?
I'm great. And send our dear friend Lady to do the walk around.
I'm out for the walk around.
Very good. Right, in the meantime, I'll close the doors now. The catering for the introduction has done their job, so close the doors here. And we'll jump onto the overhead, switch on the Adiru, arm the emergency lights, and yeah, we cannot really do the... And the checklist reset actually is not needed because it's already at the pre-flight checklist. Good. Hey, Flight Sim Race, how are you doing? Oh, okay, French pilot. I'm gonna do an IFR training flight as well. Tonight. That's great. Is that for the training or just in the simulator? Right, let's get cracking. So like always, we pretty much start with the FMC. So I'm not gonna go too much in depth about the FMC. First, looking at the ident page, 777-300.2, that's for the ER. And G engines, that's the engine rating page. And the nav data. In the aircraft, I explained before, it's a little bit different here. Actually, it's some sort of a code, so it doesn't say Iraq 2104. It's just a code. But it does say nav data. And then active, you've got the current database, and then either the old one underneath, or otherwise the newer one, the one that is to come after the Iraq change. So depending on how early it is in the cycle, and if the new database has already been loaded to the aircraft. And then drag or fuel flow should be actually showing something already. That's for the cruise degradation, which, you know, is basically the deviation from the fuel burn baseline. So it's a little bit technical, but that's what it is. Oh, you're gonna shoot VOR approaches. Wow. Following the needle, eh? Following the needle and getting an average rate of descent, check your if there's a DME, check your distances, and fly it like this. I guess in a smaller aircraft, you can allow yourself to do some level segments, and then it's a little bit more easy, I guess, to do that. In a big aircraft, they don't really want us to do platforms, you know, level off, and it wants to be they want us to do a continuous descent approach, like, you know. Anyway, good luck with that. Bonne chance. Amuse-toi bien. So, hey, Strato, how are you doing, sir? Welcome back. Hope you're doing well today. So we are in SPJC, which is a new code for the airport. All the kind of older information, above all the prepared old database, is actually the code for the airport is Sierra Papa India Mike. So you can find both references for the airport. We'll take the GPS position here and set it for the inertial. So hopefully today no shuttle takeoff. No space shuttle takeoff today, no funky business like taxiing on a single engine on the way out. I'll try to do it like a textbook, yeah. Oh, dissertation is tomorrow. You have to hand it in tomorrow, yeah? I trust everything is done and dusted. You've done all you needed to do. We'll do the route request. We'll take from SPJC. Here we are. Check this. SPJC there. Yeah, here we are. And we've got the route here, which I've saved previously. So we can do the request and simulate the data link feature of the aircraft. So it's sending the request to the dispatch center, and then the dispatch center will send the route to the FMC. And the actual aircraft, of course, the aircraft, when it sends the request and the dispatch center receives the request, it knows it's coming from a particular aircraft, and it knows that the aircraft is going to do like a particular flight. So most of the time it will send the correct information. Of course, it will send like the flight number as well, which you can't really do here, and other like little bits and pieces. So here we got the route 1 uplink ready message showing up, so we can clear that and actually load the uplink, and once again clear the message. So got SPJC SKBO, so that's good. We'll wait for the route to come up, and the route is here as per the flight plan, so that's good. One thing I'll have to do is to enter the flight number, so it's LPE 2446. So here, as I explained before in the simulation, it's not that important to enter the correct flight number, but in the aircraft it is, because the transponder mode S, which I'm sure you are all familiar with, or at least aware of, picks up the information from what you put here in the FMC. So that's important not to put like anything else. It's a little bit like when you connect to VATSIM, you know, a vPilot asks you to put in the call sign. It's a little bit the same. If you put on the wrong call sign in vPilot, then you're gonna call yourself something, and then the controller will see something else. So it's a little bit the same principle, if you see what I mean. Right, we got the route. We'll activate and execute. Then the perf init, like always, I'll reject it here. I'll take the cruise altitude, which was 370. Hey, Steven, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. Flight Radar 24, from what I understand, uses
meet your captain. Captain over.
ADS.
Gentlemen, welcome aboard.
Hey, Sky Blue Flyer, thank you for the follow.
Mr. Unger, and your first officer, Mr. Dunn.
Welcome aboard.
Over. Done.
So yeah, I think flight radar is the ADS, from what I understand. ADSB, yeah. Oh, thank you, Vulkaistos. Thank you, thank you. I'm doing well, thank you, Stephen. What's the ADSB? ADSB is like the broadcast, so basically kind of transmits the position constantly. It's a constant broadcast of the position. It's like sends like a signal, and then you've got the. I think Flight Radar 24, the way it's organized is that they have hundreds of users with the receivers, with the ADSB receivers, and then they feed the data into the website. So that's how they got all the information about all the traffic basically in the world. And it's pretty much a global coverage. It is a good website actually. Thrust limit here, we don't put anything. And then we'll make the engine out 1000 feet and 3000 feet for the acceleration. Right. Then for the departure, according to the weather, I was kind of southeasterly wind, so I'm gonna take runway 15, and it was the Amvex 5 Foxtrot, I think. Let me double check. Yeah, Amvex 5 Foxtrot. So here we are. Take this one and execute. Yeah, with the subscription, Ralba, I think you've got a few little perks and a few little extra things. You can see different things like the weather and like different labels and stuff. It's interesting. It's definitely worth it. For the departure, here we are. We'll cross-check the departure. So from runway 15, we'll go directly to Sisson, which is above 4,000 feet. Then we turn left to the JC 811 waypoint, which is between 6,000 and 9,000 feet. So it's in there as well in the database. Then to the JC 815, it's actually 110 and 120. So I'll change the transition altitude there. Actually, I'll do it now. Transition is 10,000. 18,000 is in the US. So now, yeah, showing 110 and 120. And then we're continuing to the JC401, which is flight level 180 above. As you can see, the grid there, altitude is starting to turn red. So we got the mountains, that brownish color as well. So you need to get climbing, basically. And then the JC405, flight level 190. Is in there, and then to Amvex, which was supposed to be flight level 250 above. It's in the FMC as well. So basically on the departure, get climbing because then you get over the mountains. There might be also air traffic control restrictions and airspace structure restrictions, but you need to get climbing regardless because of the mountains. So yeah.
I'm back from the walk around. Everything looks good.
Yeah, thank you, Vulkaistos, for the explanation of Flight Radar 24. Yeah, you've got people all over the place, and they contribute to the website, which is fantastic. Actually, it works very well. Where are we flying today? Today we're flying to Bogota in Colombia. Natiko, good morning, sir. Do jet engines get wear and tear to the point where they start to lose performance? No, I wouldn't think so, no. They do get wear and tear, you know, after each flight, slowly but surely. They can start developing cracks and things like that, which would lead, for example, to what happened to the United recently in Denver. But I don't think they would lose the actual performance and the amount of thrust they deliver. I don't think they actually do that. Skyblue Flyer upload Adobe data to FR24. Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I think they will, what's the word? Entice people to provide data and then give them some perks in return, yeah. When do you start flying again? What do you mean, Steven? Here we shouldn't be too long, we're just gonna set up the aircraft and then get going. So we'll load the wind. We've got a sample of levels, like always, execute that. And then go to the VNav, descent page here, go to the forecast, and load the descent forecast. This descent forecast is always the same fixed levels, 35, 31, 200, and 10,000. Right, so that's that. Navrad, we don't need to put anything really today. Progress page is 1,000 miles, which we can check over the flight plan, and they should match at least closely, not exactly, but yeah, 1152, 1069. It's quite a long arrival. There's a potential for a shortcut. We like shortcuts, don't we? We really like shortcuts. When do I start flying again? Well, I'm now gonna be on a flexible type of roster for the month of May, so it's gonna be whenever I'm needed to kind of fill in a few holes here and then. So it's okay, we'll see how it goes. So for the moment, I don't really know what the next flight is. Alright, route. We'll do a route copy, just to have a backup in case, onto route 2. And then display route 1 again up here. And check the FMC comp page if there's any uplinks that are still outstanding. It's not the case at the moment. And yeah. In the fix page, we can actually set the MSA around the airport over the JCL VOR, which defines the airport. I'll put it on the stream in 2 seconds with 25 miles. As you can see here, we've got 25 miles on the JCL VOR there. Might be a little bit small. So that kind of defines the safe altitude around the airport. And then if you want to kind of refine that, what you can do is to set that 10 DME circle as well for the inner MSA. So set 10 miles as well. And then the most critical sector is between radial 021 and 144. So you can set 021. Actually, we'll do it like that, 021 and 10. And 144 and 25, for example. Or otherwise 144 and 10.
Boarding now?
Yes.
Thanks.
Something like that. So that then when you look at the display, if I make it a little bit bigger, this area there between those two radials, that's the area with 15.8. So in this area, the safe altitude is 16,000 feet basically. So once you are away from the actual departure track, you're not like on a charted course anymore, so to speak. Then the safe altitude is this 15.8 here. So you got to watch out basically where you are. And if we put the terrain display, you'll see it's probably here that it gets terrain display not coming. Oh yeah. Yeah, and that's where you've got the most red basically in this sector. So that makes sense. But that's something you can do. That's just to show a little bit how it works.
Remember one thing.
ZD3 Destroyer
Cargo plane full of
or
rubbish
Destroyer,
dog shit out of
that's
Hong
easier.
Kong.
Thank you for the
Yes,
follow.
sir.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a bit of a nutcase with the flight simulation. I guess I like to do the flight simulation, although I do fly also like the actual aircraft. But I do like flight simulation. I've always kind of done a little bit of it, and I just quite like to come here and have a chat, like share a little bit of banter, and yeah. So that's it for this. We can leave it on Perfinite, close this window, and yeah, next do the FS panel. It's pretty much in the correct setting at the moment. I'll just need to set the QNH with the B function, which is actually 1013 as well. Switch on the flight director. The runway heading is, get rid of that again, 155, I think. Yeah. So we'll set on the track the runway track or heading, actually 155. And then since there's a 9,000 feet restriction at the first, not the first waypoint, but at JC811, we'll set 8,000 feet. Actually, let me check on this Vex. Yeah, it says initially flight level 270, but you can't really go straight away to 270 because depending on how fast you climb, I showed you there was that 9,000 restriction. You need to make sure that it's in the MCP altitude window there, because if you change the mode on the climb and if you go from VNAV to a flight level change, if you have flight level 270 there, it's not gonna keep, it's not gonna take into account the restrictions on the way. It's just gonna keep climbing, so you don't want to do that. So I'll set the altitude here. Yeah, Connor, I mean, it's I think it is a respectable hobby. I mean, even for pilot, I think it's, some people would collect stamps, some people would go and get drunk. I mean, whatever whatever rocks your boat, it's anything is acceptable, I guess. So, but I do enjoy it. I think it's good fun. As I said before, also it kind of allows me to see places I wouldn't really necessarily go to. I don't go to Bogota every day or to Lima, so kind of shows me a little bit how these places work and what the procedures are, and so it's good. It's definitely good. Right, so that's set there. We'll check the oxygen, which on this sector is, yeah, important, I guess. The PFD is set. We've got Toga at this stage up there, and the flight director. The QNH is set. On this, we've got the viewer displayed, airport as well. Later on, we'll display the weather radar, and we got TCAS off as well, which is expected. And then down here, we got the parking brake set. The thrust levers are closed. The fuel control switches are off as well. Speed brake lever is down. The flaps are up. Happy days. So we'll try not to do a single engine taxi out today. That would be great. It's nice to try to innovate, try new procedures, but I'll try to avoid maybe. Cool. Let's see what the score is with FS2 crew. So the FS2 crew tab up here says it's doing the pre-flight flow. So that's great. We'll do the briefing so that the virtual first officer knows what is happening. So we're gonna go from the gate. We'll keep the transponder on the ground. It's reduced thrust. I think it was flaps 5. It's a long runway, sea level. Shouldn't be any different. Just double check. quickly. I've done it before coming on. Yeah, flaps 5, no problem. We'll keep the packs on. Anti-ice and ADP is now required. Thrust reduction here will make it 1500. Accelerating at 3000. We're gonna follow the SID, and the weather and the terrain are the concerns of the day. So you can play the tape if you wish, but I'm not gonna torture you with the tape. I'll just do the quick briefing myself, and that would be it. But it's kind of important for FS2 crew to synchronize a little bit with what you're gonna do to brief FS2 crew and set the information there. So that's what I'll do. What else? That's it, really.
TCAS test.
Once he's finished the not the pre-flight flow, the pre-flight flow, then we'll do the briefing. We got 26.7 tons on board.
I am ready for the checklist.
Which should be plenty of fuel, hopefully. DJ, that's Asian vibes. Oui, bien sûr. L'accent me trahit. The accent is betraying me. So, bonjour, by the way. J'espère que ça va. Ah, ben l'accent français. J'essaye de mon mieux, hein, mais c'est pas toujours évident. It's not always obvious, but I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. Where was I? Oh yeah, pre-flight checklist then. Let's do that. Pre-flight checklist.
Pre-flight checklist. Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Tested 100%. Flight instruments.
Heading 065, altimeter 1013.
Heading 065, altimeter 1013. Pre-flight checklist complete.
Cool. So, as I said, it's gonna be a quick brief. We'll do runway 15 departure, flaps 5 with an assumed temperature to reduce the thrust a little bit on takeoff to manage the wear and tear of the engines. Push and start with the nose to the left, and then kind of taxi out. If I put this on, where are we? Where's my EFB? Oh, here it is. So yeah, nose to the left, and then taxi via Foxtrot Alpha all the way. It's quite a small layout. It's not very complicated. So that's the plan. And then we went through the departure with the FMC. You saw on the chart, kind of taking off, left turn, keep climbing basically. That's that. DJ Asian vibes. I'm not really talking about the location and stuff, so yeah. But I think everybody, of course, can work out I'm French, so as you pointed out so rightly, you know, so the accent and stuff, so, yeah. Nice. I won't do the boarding today with FS2. No, not FS2 crew, GSX. Just use GSX for the push and start. Right, so far so good. We'll do the performance now. Oh, I didn't do that page. Yay, DJ, thank you for the follow, sir. Thank you. The reserves were... What are the reserves?
You can be mine.
Was 6.7. I got distracted there. 6.7. Right, so the zero fuel weight from the flight plan was 220.1, so we will enter 220.1, 220.1 here in the ZFW, zero fuel weight. So basically the weight of the aircraft with the crew, passengers, bags, cargo, except the fuel. That's why it's called zero fuel weight. We got 26.7 on the FMC fuel here. 26.7 on the fuel gauge down here, and we've got 26.7 on the flight plan, so all matches. That's beautiful. Assumed temperature is 70 something, I think. Double check again. 70 exactly. Beautiful. And yeah, it's gonna give us 88.4. So no lower thrust actually. Climb 2, which is good. We leave it there. 1000 is the engine out. Flaps was 5. CG from the load sheet. It's actually not load sheet. That's why I usually say, because we use the load sheet for the CG. I'm kind of, you know, reverting to actual flows there. The CG is now with the PMDG loading. So, however PMDG loads the aircraft, is gonna give you the CG there by pressing the button. Brings it here, and then you set it so 29%, which gives a stab trim indication of 5 units. And then the speeds, once again, they are way off. Should be 157, so 12 knots difference. 158 and 162. Whew. A bit of a difference. I don't know if you remember, like on the previous streams, like before the actual 777 update, the speeds that PMDG were giving with the kind of correct assume were usually quite close. But now after the update, it's all over the place. So I'm not really sure what they've done here, to be honest. Anyway, so V2 162, this one is checked, that's good. We've got 370 initially, 250 below flight level 100. And yeah, happy days. So the V2 is 162, we'll set it up here. The speed window, will arm LNAV and VNAV for the departure. We got the initial runway track and 9,000 feet as per the SID. So we're good. I'll start the APU. So far, so good. How accurate is Topper? I've never tried Topper. There's a couple of applications for the performance. You've got Topper, from what I understand. You've got Topcat, which was doing the 200 LR, but not the 300 ER. You've got a few around. I'm not really familiar with those applications. I use whatever I use for work, which actually might not be a good thing for the simulation here, because obviously the Boeing performance is based for the aircraft, but not necessarily for the simulation here. But so far I've not had any major trouble using the Boeing performance, so it seems to be working okay. I've not run out of runway, or you see what I mean? So yeah. Otherwise, hey, 777 Blake, thank you very much. Greetings from Sydney. Nice. Sydney is a nice place. And thank you. I appreciate you like the videos. Thank you very much. APU is running now. Beautiful. Let's call. Oh, before I call. Oh God. If I'm starting to get into the world of darkness, is not good. If I cut off the ground power without disconnecting the ground power, it's not gonna be good. So primary sound power goes off, and now we got the available light, and now we can call the ground guy. Otherwise, we're gonna be in the world of darkness. Ground flight deck. Ground flight deck.
Go ahead.
Please disconnect the ground equipment.
Roger.
We'll bring it to -1.
Alright guys, everyone's seated. We're all buttoned up and ready to go in the back.
Thanks.
If you need anything, just let me know.
Smaller items
seat in front of you to provide more room for larger items
Cool.
in our
Let's have a
overhead
look outside.
compartments. If you need assistance,
Yeah,
contact
they are closing the
flight
doors.
attendants. If you
Happy
are
days.
unable to accommodate any
Yeah,
item in the
aft
cabin,
cargo
please
door
switch to the boarding
is
door. We will
closed,
check
and
it
this
for
one
you.
it looks like it's
Also,
closing.
review the safety instruction card in your seat pocket. If you are
This one
seated
is
in
not
an
closing.
exit seat, also review the exit seating criteria.
Kind of sitting there. I thought that FS2 crew was closing that door as well. You went into the world of darkness as well. Good. Happens sometimes. I don't know what's going on with that door. I'll close it myself then. It doesn't close the doors. Because if I call for the before start, it's gonna say, hey, there's a cargo door opened. And now you've got door forward cargo. Yeah. Why is it not closing the doors? Right, let's do it. So FS actions, doors, close all the doors. Then arm them all. And let's see, the cargo door is closing now. If we go back to this, yeah, it's closing. Good. So this down here, of course, as I pointed out several times before, the door opening or closing or arming is not part of the center FMC or any FMC actually, because this section is also contained in those two other FMCs. That's not part of the FMC, and the doors are all closed either by the crew in the cabin or otherwise downstairs by all the ground staff. There's no door function in the FMC there. This is purely a simulation thing. But it's quite smart actually to have put it there, I find. So yeah. Right, I think we're good to go. Let's see if it will be willing to pressurize the hydraulics. Dan Slater, thank you for the follow.
By the way, is there anyone on board who knows how to fly a plane?
Ah! We'll try our best to fly the plane today. Ground flight deck.
Go ahead.
Can we pressurize hydraulics?
Roger, you're clear to pressurize the hydraulics.
Before start procedure.
Are we clear to pressurize?
Yes.
Okay.
So, first officer will pressurize the hydraulic panel here. So basically put all the hydraulic pumps on, or otherwise on the auto position for the demand pumps. I'm not doing anything here, it does it for me, which is nice. The fuel pumps will come on the main tanks, not the center tank. The beacon comes on. We still have the door forward cargo?
I am ready for the checklist.
That's not right. The door has reopened. Huh! There seems to be a bit of an issue. Don't do that to me, PMDG. Doors. These are closed, but this one is open. Close the flipping door. Goodness. That's twice. We're gonna send the bill to engineering there. If the door doesn't close properly. Good. It's closed now. Hopefully it's not gonna reopen. Because if it does reopen, then we've got a bit of a problem actually. Above all, over the mountains, it might become interesting. You might need to use your oxygen masks. But hey, that's what we trained for. And the trim, I'm getting distracted, is 5 units. Here, so we'll set 5 units on the trim. Good. Before start, checklist.
Before start checklist. Flight deck door. Closed and locked. MCP.
Set and checked.
Takeoff speeds.
Set and checked.
CDU preflight.
Completed.
Completed. Trim.
Set and checked.
Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Completed.
Before start checklist complete.
Cool. So let's call that off and mission start then. Oh. Yeah, the ground crew is playing up a little bit. Right, so let's double check. Yeah, everything is clear now.
Hello,
Beautiful.
Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Yeah, they are down here. I'm ready as well. Well, I hope not. It was funny though. I mean, I watched it again a little bit this morning. It's like, I released the slew function and the thing goes. It just like takes off like crazy. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. So we said the nose is going to the left, so option 2.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes.
So lesson learned, no slewing
All engines clear.
of the simulation. I don't think I'll need to slew anyway, there's no ATC. I'm pretty much on my own, so I'll, the push will get me onto the taxiway and then from there I'll work it out. Start sequence is 1, then 2.
Check.
Start the left engine.
Starting left.
Good. And I'll try to remember also to switch on the fuel control switch.
Once again,
Be
ladies
very
and
useful.
gentlemen, welcome on board our
So we
flight
got start switch to start
Please direct your attention
and
to the cabin crew for important
the
safety
fuel control switch
information.
to
There is
run.
an instruction card in your seat pocket that illustrates the safety equipment on this aircraft.
The engine is spinning, which is good.
Require compliance with this information as well as all crew instructions, lighted information signs, and boost
Excellent.
Fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle. Tighten by pulling on the belt. To release your seatbelt, lift the metal flap
And
on
the
the
GT is
buckle.
increasing.
It is our
It took a
policy
while
to
actually.
Keep your seatbelt fastened at all times while seated. Doors are clearly marked with exit signs and
then
instructions.
And we
Here,
hope
a
you enjoy
click.
the rest of your flight.
Each
By
door
the way, is there
equipped
anyone
And
on
then the
board
red
who knows
light
how to fly a
disappears
plane?
here. Hey, Lino Trucks, thank you for the follow. Thank you.
In an emergency, lights will
Start the
illuminate
right
behind.
engine.
The cabin
Starting
is
right.
pressurized if there is a loss of cabin pressure. A
And
panel
same
will
thing for
open
the
in
right
oxygen
engine. The
mask
start switch
appear.
comes to
Remain
start.
seated with your seatbelt
And
fastened
then
and full
fuel
mask
control
towards you.
switch
Oil
to
pressure.
run.
Oxygen will be flowing to the mask even though the bag may not inflate.
Yeah, that catapult launch yesterday was classic.
Around your head and tighten by pulling on the end. Secure your
Even
own
the
mask.
controllers said to me, "Oh, that was so funny." We saw the aircraft on Euroscope going like,
Pull up and remove the cushion.
It's like,
Upon exiting the
what's
aircraft,
going on?
place your arms around the cushion and hold
As he
it.
lost the plot.
Located on the back. This is a non-smoking flight. Smoking is not permitted in the cabin.
Yeah,
or
that one was a
landing
classic.
Cabin lights will now be turned off. Reading light buttons are located above your seat. Thank you for your attention.
Alright, the engine is turning, good sign. And the start is over. I hear the click. Excellent. So we'll just wait for the end of the push. Set the parking brake when prompted. Yeah, I'll try to apply for NASA or otherwise the European Space Agency for a job. Yeah, can you know, try to get a promotion instead of flying in the air, like go into space. It's you know, I'm exploring like new career possibilities. Huh? That would confirm the good engine start. And go for flaps 5. Flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
It's gonna offer the flight control page, so we'll check the flight controls. So up, down. This thing moved. Left and right. Good. And then we'll wait for the dispatcher or the engineer on the ground to show the pin, and then we can check the rudder pedals.
Bypass pin removed.
So he's disconnecting. He's gonna walk away and then wave the bypass pin. If I can see guy on the ground. Wrong direction. We are. Here is.
Left is clear.
Not
Right is
yet.
clear.
Oh, here is. He waved. Thank you very much. And now we can. Oh, waves twice. 2 for the price of 1. Beautiful. And check the pedals. Left, center, right, center. Before taxi checklist. Oh. Try again. Before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Anti-ice. Auto. Recall. Checked. Flight controls.
Checked.
Ground equipment.
Clear.
Before taxi checklist complete.
Clear left.
Clear right.
Yeah, it's becoming clear. He's moving away. Good. Let's go. Yeah, there's no ATC still. I mean, it's very early for them anyway, so. Lima traffic, LATAM 2446, taxing to boarding
And
point
we hope
runway
you enjoy
15.
the rest of your flight.
Tasso, thank you very
By the way,
much
is
for
there
the
anyone
follow.
on board who knows how to fly a plane?
We'll try our best today. That would go here on Foxtrot 1 and then join Alpha, which is at kind of 1 o'clock. Clear on the left here. Archer, we shoot the pin first and then wave goodbye. Possibly, indeed. Still quite misty, huh? Oof. I'm not sure what the current weather is, but it looks relatively misty. Yeah, friendly Peruvian crew, of course.
The cabin is ready.
SPJC.
Cabin crew, take your seats.
2,000 meters, mist, overcast at 200. Beautiful. Wow. Alright, so the cabin was ready. We'll display the weather here. She's got the terrain on this side. And we can do the before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist complete.
Checklist complete. Good. We are in business. So yeah, just taxi along Alpha there. That'll take us to the holding point. It's a fairly simple ground layout, so no big deal here.
But you remember one thing.
Hey, Chris04, thank you for the follow.
You'll be flying a cargo plane full of rubber dog shit out of Hong
Hey,
Kong.
Blackbeard, how you doing, sir? Welcome back. I hope you recovered from the laugh with the catapult takeoff yesterday.
Plane and land it?
Michu, thank you for the follow, sir.
You can't be serious.
Thank you.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Welcome on board LATAM Peru 2446 from Lima to Bogota, to the limits of the 777. When I say limits, it's not to kind of do funky business or do maneuvers or whatever, like upside down. When I say limits, it's more like with the limitations of the aircraft. As I said in the introduction, where the aircraft can only land up to 8,400 feet, which is basically the airport elevation in Bogota. So we're just at the limit, basically. So it's limits is in that respect, of course. Yeah, it looks lovely in Lima this morning. I think it's something like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning local time. So a lot of humidity coming in from the ocean, because the ocean is right here on the left. We're sitting pretty much on the coastline, so I guess a little bit of humidity from the ocean. The Great Pacific Ocean. Yeah, a little bit of a misty morning indeed. 2,000 meters, overcast at 200 feet. It would be actually interesting to do an ILS approach in these conditions.
Negative, Captain. This is non-negotiable.
Hey, Sarah Mickey, thank you for the follow. Thank you much. Welcome.
Turn the wheel. Turn the wheel right now, Captain.
Yeah, you can derate in any weather except if the runway is contaminated, or maybe if you expect like a strong wind shear on takeoff. But otherwise, even if the visibility is relatively poor, you can still derate. As long as you have the visibility required for the takeoff, it's okay. And usually for takeoff is around
you screw up just this much.
Well,
you'll be flying a cargo plane.
Hey Andy, thank you for the follow. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
For the takeoff, actually on the 777 300ER, you can take off in 150 meters of visibility. So that's the minimum. But of course, you need low visibility operations in force and all that stuff, all the lighting and on the runway. And is that fog? Yeah, it does not look very nice this morning. It does not look very nice. That's the beauty of you know, having the real weather in the sim as well, is that you take whatever is there. Runway entry procedure.
Check. Clear on the approach.
LATAM 2446 entering, lining up, rolling runway 15 for Lima traffic. There's nobody around anyway, but yeah, it's hard to see the approach because it's obscured. So the approach is there's not much to see. It's runway 15. It's nice to see the lights. With the fog, the lights are a little bit more visible, which is nice.
On runway 15.
Runway 15, indeed. The RAS voice is telling us the runway advisory and alerting system, something like that. Right, so we're lined up. We'll start the timing and off we go. Let me check this one. Yeah, it's up to date. So we'll bring the thrust to 55%. Let the engine stabilize. Hit Toga. Takeoff.
Check.
Thrust ref.
Check. Thrust set. $80 knots.
Hold.
Check.
Oh. I don't know why it does that. I hope it's not the joystick, actually.
V1.
Rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up.
feet.
Press ref.
Check.
Enough speed.
Check.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the thrust does that. I've noticed that before. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not really sure. But hey, Sarah Miki from Cape Town. Cool. Cape Town is amazing as well.
Tower, this is Ghost Rider requesting a flyby.
G-Man, thank you for the follow.
No, ma'am, this is not a good idea.
Sorry, Goose, but it's time to buzz the tower.
Yeah, I'll have to work out why it does that. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. Once you're in the air and the auto throttle is properly engaged and everything, then there's not an issue apparently anymore. Right, so we passed 3,000 feet AGL, so it's gonna lower the nose. You see, we're getting below 10 degrees of nose altitude. We start retracting the flaps.
Remember one thing.
Flaps 1.
You screw up just this much.
Flaps 1.
You'll be flying
Speed
a cargo
check,
plane
flaps
full of
1.
rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong. Yes, sir.
Badri, thank you very much for the follow. Flaps up.
Speed check. Flaps up.
After takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist complete.
Check, check. Yeah, there's nothing to see, huh? It's all a cover of cloud. Yeah, okay, we'll keep climbing. Yeah, using FSUI PC. I do have FSUI PC, but I'm not using it for the joystick, so I'm not really sure. It's okay, you know, you can override the thrust here on the simulator. It is what it is, I guess. Alright, so we're not gonna level off at 9,000 feet here, so I'm gonna press the button. Get rid of... It's making me lie now. Ah no, I know why it doesn't, because I need to keep climbing. No! So we go to 370. Since there's no ATC. And now press the button. That's it. First the restriction disappears. Press the button again. And the second restriction disappears. These 3 restrictions are okay because it's above, so you can keep climbing. But yes! Let's match the track. And that's approaching the transition altitude of 10,000 feet, so we'll reset the altimeters to standard. It's amazing. Because the top of the mountains is kind of over the cloud layer, but otherwise...
Flight level 100.
There's a thick layer of cloud there, which is kind of realistic because the cloud layer is remains relatively low. It doesn't go very high in the sky, so the top of the mountains stick out, but obviously in the valley and at sea level it's all fogged in. So far so good. Seatbelt sign auto.
Seatbelt signs auto.
Yeah, it's always a nice day above the cloud, indeed. Always a nice day. Yeah, when I press toga, I always move the levers to 100%. Yeah, that's a good idea. As I said, I'll have to try to work this one out. I hope it's not the joystick or... have we picked up a bit of ice there? I don't know, and it's maybe not very visible, but this area looks like kind of grayed out. It's weird, anyway. I don't think it will be ice though, because it's quite hot. 25 degrees down the dot. Or maybe it's simulating like the stains on the window. That's possibly why it is. The no smoking will stay on. That's it, we're climbing away on the RNAV departure there on the SID. It's climbing quite well, so the terrain is not gonna be too much of an issue. Yeah, there's no more really terrain around. Cool. Very nice. Great success. Un poquito, Kenobi. Hablo español un poquito, pero lo ha olvidado. I forgot it. I forgot a lot of it. Please don't laugh at my Spanish. That's it. It's climbing away from the cloud foggy layer. Beautiful. It's very peaceful. We could put like some ambient music in the background, you know. Da na na na, da na 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 na. Very nice. But it's TAM Brazil, it's not TAM Peru. which I believe is the old kind of name of LATAM. And LATAM, there's, as I said in the introduction, there's LATAM Brazil, there's LATAM Peru, there's LATAM Colombia, I think. Yeah, it's really nice. I love the depiction of the weather with the foggy layer at low level and then totally clear above that. It's amazing. With the mountains in the background sticking out of the fog layer. Of course, there's no 777 flying this particular route. It's 319 or 320 according to FlightAware. But there is a commercial flight going on at the moment. This is amazing. I like those shots. It's actually doing quite well. I'm not even looking at what the aircraft is doing. Maybe the aircraft is about to stall, but I'm sure it's doing fine. Fantastic. And you can see the wing flex as well on some of those shots. Beautiful. 20,000 feet. It's nice. So we'll just match the track with the current track of the aircraft. So basically put the little triangle bug there on the magenta line and have the reference appear in track. So when you have the reference in track, it gives you this little bug there, which kind of looks like a rectangle, a little triangle here, and then a mix. And when it's the heading, then you get this kind of little symbol there for the bug. But since we are following the LNAV, then it kind of makes sense to have it in track and match the track with the magenta line. So we'll make the JC401 above flight level 180 as per the standard instrument departure, so that's good. And then the next restriction was 190, I think, which we are already above. And the last one was 250 at Amvex, which we'll make easily as well, so no issues there. Alessio, how are you doing? Welcome back. Yeah, my last flight, when was that? Yesterday morning or the evening before, basically all night. Yeah, that was my last flight. So no, a long time ago.
And we hope you enjoy
Yesterday, when I was streaming, as I said, I'd like basically the night before. I basically spent the night on the plane. So yeah. Hey, thank you for the follow, the Kidan. Thank you. So yeah, it was as early as yesterday morning, very early morning. Beautiful. It kind of feels very peaceful, the way it kind of transitions. And
You are still
nice.
dangerous.
Hey, Aviator777. Thank you for the follow.
Anytime.
Welcome to Latam Peru 2446 to Bogota. Let's see how it's gonna work out in Bogota. We've got it's a good couple of hours from now, so we got a little bit of time in the cruise. There's no gimmicks once again. I need to maybe spice it up from time to time, but I want to get it all the way to Bogota, so I didn't introduce any gimmicks, any failures basically. Just do a normal flight from A to B. Or from B to A. Because we always say from A to B, but it could be from B to A. If you see what I mean. What's so nice about the B? A is very nice too, so we could fly from B to A instead of from A to B. If you see what I mean. That's another quote for you, OJ. After the box, life is like a box of chocolate. Mind you, that one is from Forrest Gump, of course, who says, you know, life is like a box of chocolates. You don't know which one you're gonna get.
Both pilots.
Lil Pang, thank you for the follow.
This plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
Thank you very much.
I am serious.
I am serious.
And don't call me Shirley.
And the one about the simulation is, I don't know where I saw it somewhere. Somebody saying my ability to fly the simulator does not reflect my ability to fly the aircraft. Okay. If you say so. Or fly from C to D. Or from D to C. And we could go on and on and on and on. Yeah, indeed. We could go on and on and on. Hello, Lil Pang, ATPL student. How are you getting on with the ATPL studies so far? Have you already done some exams, or are you just starting? Oh, and the weather has improved all of a sudden. Oh, but with the mountains, they are still quite spectacular. Wow, that looks quite close. What altitude are we? 30,000. It doesn't look very far, the mountain there. Oh wow. There's a little road there. Oh wow, the weather is nicely depicted there with the morning mists in the valleys and wow. Jeez, that looks close. Let's see on this display. I mean, theoretically now we're safer and we are more than 30,000 feet. The mountains are not that high, but it does look close. Kind of gives you that that feeling. Yeah. There's no issues. So 196 is the highest in the display there. Good. But that looked impressive. wow. Beautiful, all those mountains. That's absolutely amazing. Oh, so you finish with meteorology. HPL is by human performance limitations, something like that. And POF performance. Yeah. It's been a long time, man. Principles of flight. Almost the same. Principles of flight, yeah. Oh wow, check those peaks. Beautiful. Oh, that was worth flying around here. And definitely worth putting the daylight settings, because in real time it will still be dark. Still very early morning. On top of that, we are in the southern hemisphere going towards autumn, so actually already into autumn. This one looks nice with the mountain and the lake at the bottom of it. It kind of looks like it's maybe a little bit bumpy on the climb. Did the aircraft going? Which I think there was a bit of a forecast for turbulence in the climb, so that's maybe what Active Sky is trying to do. Those are amazing, man. Beautiful. Where is Kilimanjaro? Kilimanjaro actually looks a little bit like that as well in P3D. I don't know if you ever had the chance to watch the video I done with Kilimanjaro, and then do the terrain warning and the terrain escape maneuver. But yeah, it kind of looks like that. It's like a big lump with snow at the top. Kind of different continent. Kilimanjaro. It's amazing. And then there's another big one here. Fantastic. The background here, I'm not sure if it's actually mountains or if it's a cloud layer. It's kind of white. We'll see as we get closer. The Aconcagua in Argentina. Thank you for the reference, Ranba. I was not particularly aware of that. Thank you, I appreciate it.
1,000 feet to level off.
1,000 feet to level off. 37. I hope actually it's not too close. Oh yeah, it's a little bit close to the max. It's okay. Cool. Actually, it should monitor that catches up the altitude. Lewis 100, hello sir, welcome back, bonjour. Yeah, you're right, Clem Pilot. Once you get your ATPL exams out of the way, then you've got like a big thorn out of your side, you know. It's a bit of a relief.
And we hope you enjoy the rest of your flight.
GTA, thank you for the follow.
Anyone on board who knows how to fly a plane?
Welcome on board. Cool, so 37,000 feet. Here we are. Gonna level off. It's struggling to level off a little bit as well. Yusef, hello, welcome back. Hope you're doing well today. Yeah, Argentina looks like an interesting place, you know, and the Pampa and all those wide expanse as well, and Buenos Aires is an interesting place. Yeah, it's America in general kind of is the new world, you know, as we say, and it has a different feel from Europe or like other places. You've got that sense of freedom a little bit. I don't know, maybe it's just an impression, but That's the way I feel a little bit when I go to those places. Oh, GTA, Roger. Ramadan Karim, if I'm correct. Here there's a couple of little airports, but I don't know if you could plant a 777 in there. Probably not. If we can see them, actually. Oh, these look like all airports. Yeah, so here if we had to lose the pressurization, what we would do, we look at this display. On the display, there's gonna give us the maximum altitude, 21,900, which is what you said, Ralba. Where was that? About 22.8, so a little bit higher. Mind you, Argentina is further back. But you've got like roughly a safe altitude of 23,000 feet, something like that. So you have to go down to 23,000 feet and then probably escape towards the coastline. Because here then the terrain kind of disappears. So yeah, go down to 25,000 feet, down to the left and go towards the ocean. That will be the technique or the tactic. Or otherwise turn to the right and go towards the east and the valley on the other side as well. So you got a choice actually. Well, if I give you the local time here, it's a little bit specific, so I will refrain from doing so. Yeah, bang, no worries, keeping the motivation high. Think positive and test negative, as our friend Conti would say. Yeah, Clem Pilot, the ATPL is a big thing. Is a lot of study. Is a little bit draining, and once you get it out of the way, then you can enjoy the fun part. Continue the hour building, then do your CPL. Then it's all about the flying. You don't have to do all that studying anymore. So that's when the fun kicks in. The CPL is good fun because then you start flying normally on a more advanced aircraft with, for example, the retractable gear, the variable prop, and then for the instrument rating, most of the time they will make you do it on a twin engine, like a Seneca, and that's even more fun because you can do some serious flying with those things. Climb to I don't know, 7,000, 8,000 feet, go into the airways, flying IFR with radar control and all these things. Then it's some serious flying, and that is good fun. That's extremely good fun. But first, you need to get the exams out of the way. The exams are a lot of RTFQ, you know, read the flipping question, and it's what's the word? A lot of automatic learning, or if you see what I mean, learn the questions from the database, but hopefully also understand the subject a little bit, because otherwise, if you just learn the question and then don't understand a single thing, then there's not much point, but it does help to have the question database and learn the questions, the answers, and make sure you read the question properly as well, because it will try to trick you. And the answers suggested will also try to trick you, because if, for example, you do a calculation the wrong way, then one of the suggested answers will be with the wrong method, or because you forgot to convert something, or so one of the suggested answers, you know, in your multi-choice A, B, C, D, will kind of lead you the wrong way as well. So you have to make sure that you tick all the boxes properly. So you're doing the hour building with the theory at the moment, Lil Pang, yeah? That's the way to go. So are you doing distance learning, or is it all integrated? Yeah, Lewis 100, South America has a big history, huh? I mean, before the discovery of America in general, I mean, there were obviously people living there and doing their own thing, so it's a rich culture indeed. Oh, it's an integrated program. So yeah, they will make you do a little bit of both then, I guess. At least go from the theory, like learn the main points, and then maybe try to deepen the knowledge, but at least do like the PPL theory, because you need to kind of know a few things before you actually jump in the aircraft as well. So and mass and balance, flight planning, fuel calculations, yeah, very important, because I'm not really sure how they do it integrated, but I would imagine that you would do the equivalent of the PPL first and then continue with the hour building. But first you would do your PPL, and even at PPL level you need to be able to kind of work out a flight plan, work your tracks, your distances, calculate your timings, your fuel. So you will need to do all these things indeed. And for that you need a little bit of theory, so there you go. I always quite enjoyed these things. That maybe sound a little bit sad, a little bit geeky, but I did. I find the planning side of things interesting. And navigation, VFR navigation is good fun as well. Because here on those aircraft you kind of fly with basically the GPS, and you just follow the route. There's no like flight planning as per se. The flight planning is all done by a software. It's all computers that will work out your route with airways and waypoints, so you don't really do all that stuff. But when you do a VFR flight, I know nowadays a lot of aircraft are equipped with GPS, so you can punch in the route in the GPS and kind of fly from point to point or whatever. But if you do a proper VFR navigation, then you're supposed to fly your headings and for like a certain amount of time, and then during the navigation cross-check your position in relation to ground features and see if the line you traced on the map is where you're actually flying. If you see you're a little bit to the left, then you have to correct the heading. And your leg, let's say your leg is 10 miles, so it should take you like X number of minutes to actually do the leg to cover the distance. And the timing is really helpful, because sometimes you can be confused about your location, but if you still have like 3 minutes to run to your reporting point, then the chances are you're still not there, so you continue the next 3 minutes, and then by the time your timing is done, then you should be in the area. So no, unfortunately, I've had to let it lapse. When I was still flying on the 7.3, I was keeping the license, but not anymore. Where I am now, it's quite difficult to do VFR flying, and yeah, so maybe one day, but not at the moment. So yeah, no more flying VFR. It's a shame, but Lewis, how long have I been flying? I don't know. How long has it been? 17 years or something like that. 16 years, something like that. I can't remember really when I started. But it's been a while. Kind of makes me feel old, man. I'll try to stay young. We don't talk about those things. It's like ladies, they don't want to talk about their age. They want to, you know, pretend they're still 18 or 20. How old are you? You're 40? No, no, it's 20. So yeah. Time flies. It doesn't go fast, it flies. Time flies indeed. Yeah, yeah. As long as it goes, that's a good thing. It's when it stops. That's when things stop. That it's not, it's not good. Yeah. When time stops, then there's a problem. But I mean, I'm not here to teach you how to suck eggs. But you know that when you're a kid, time feels very slow, and you're like 6-7 year old, and you go to school, and like you know what it's like. Like time feels very, very long when you're a kid. Even as a teenager, it still feels a little bit long. You're still trying to find out who you are, what you want to do, and all those things. But as soon as you get to like 24, 25, you finish like college or university or school or whatever. You start working, getting a job, getting a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. And basically you are an adult, then time flies, just goes very, very quick. It's just funny. Time does fly. I've decided to call myself 50 plus. Welcome to the 50 plus club then. Welcome, welcome. I'm looking at this SimAware. Kind of lost track of. Oh no, here it is. Cool. A lot of traffic in South America, but it's the time of day. Fantastic.
Gentlemen, I'd like you to meet your captain. Captain, over.
Victor, thank you very much for the follow.
Yes, your navigator, Mr. Unger, and your first officer, Mr. Dunn. Unger, over. Over. Done.
Retirement age. As early as possible. That's the. That's my dream. No, realistically, or theoretically, you can go until 60, or even in some places 65. So you can, bearing in mind, of course, that you still need to keep your medical license going. But otherwise, yeah, 60 or 65, depending on the place where you are. So yeah, you can fly until like a certain age. But I hope I'll be able to stop earlier than that, I have to say. Once the kids have flown out of the nest, then hopefully I'll be able to stop. The only thing is that like my kids are still relatively young, so I still have a good at least 10 years to go. So between 10 and 15 years to go. So yeah, I won't be by that stage I'll be well into the 50s. So yeah, but hopefully not beyond 60. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And then it's a matter of once again bearing in mind that everything medically goes according to plan, but then it's a matter of how much do you want to continue or to top up the pension or not. So since the pension for me at least is kind of oh man, why am I talking about pension? Jeez. Makes me feel old. I guess you have to plan things, but I was actually online this morning with before I came on this with the financial advisor, and he goes to me, "Do you have a will?" I was like, "Oh God, do we have to talk about wills?" You know? So, but it's one of these things, yo. I don't want to sound too serious, like too philosophical. So, hey, MPez, welcome back. How are you doing, sir? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, Bernard, once you get to a certain point, then you'd start understanding indeed the importance of pension, because if you don't plan ahead, then you'll get to that stage and you'll be left alone in the dark. So you do need to think about it. No, Blackbeard 95. No, a little bit of general aviation and then onto the 737. So no, 777 was not the first job. It's rare to get directly onto a 777 unless you're like a national pilot of like some of the Asian airlines or Middle East airlines, where there will be like some cadet schemes, something like that, where maybe you can start already on a wide body. Otherwise, the chances are you'll start on a smaller aircraft and then kind of work your way up. No, I like that. But the midlife crisis. No, it's not so much like a midlife crisis. I don't know how the conversation kind of evolved towards age and then pensions and wills and things like that. But no, I'm good. I'm not losing the marbles, or I'm not wishing I was younger or anything. I do remember actually that was a funny thing a long time ago at university. One of the tutors saying, "Yeah, you know, the guy was probably in his 50s or something, and he was saying, yeah, I do like being my age. You young people." You know, when you're a student, 20, 22, whatever, you still have a lot to sort out. You have to find a job, find a career, maybe have a family, like, you know, give sense to your and meaning to your life. I'm like 50 and I'm all sorted out. I've got my family, I've got my job, I've got everything I want, everything I need. I'm in a much better position than you are. Okay, if you say so. It was a funny guy, actually. So, very philosophical. And true in a sense, it's true, Strato. In a sense, it's true. But, yeah. Yeah, it's true. There's a lot of pressure to kind of get all things sorted out and rather quickly. It's I think you have to enjoy every stage of your life and enjoy the ride, you know, because the one thing that's for sure is that you'll never get the past days back. Basically, like each days goes past and then it's gone, you know, and it's gone forever. So you have to enjoy the ride, take it as it comes, and yeah. Kiko, yeah, that's possible, you know. It's reverse psychology. Say that everything is good when actually it's not good. So yeah, possibly. It's definitely possible, but in a sense, I kind of tend to agree that as once you're kind of like in your 30s, or once things are a little bit clearer as to what you want to do in your life, then indeed it's maybe a little bit better than when you're trying to still find your way around. But so yeah, it's one of those things, huh? And the Kedan, I'm currently at my ground school phase, just finished with AGK POF and met at CA Gatwick. So POF we said was Principles of Flight. MET obviously is MET, Meteorology, and AGK is it Aircraft General Knowledge? Maybe yes, maybe no. I still have my ATPL folders, all the binders there. It was like 14 subjects, 14 exams, maybe 6 or 7 binders, because some subjects were like contained, there were 2 subjects, 2 topics in one binder. Aircraft, airframe general knowledge. Oh, good. I was not far. Airframe, aircraft. Same but different, huh? Or aircraft. Which, let me remember. I think aircraft or airframe general knowledge was the Kiko. Thank you for the follow. Welcome.
You can be my wingman anytime.
What's it?
Bullshit. You can be mine.
Yeah, I think this one is the one I struggled the most with, and with which I actually got lucky, because I just passed it with 75%. I think it was the aircraft general knowledge, where they talk about the engines and all the shit, if you excuse my French, which for me is a little bit abstract. I'm not really, if you're technical or kind of like to fix your cars or something like that, you know, maybe that's a little bit more, speaks to you a little bit more, but for me it's it's a little bit abstract. So when you talk about like engines and carburetors and things like that, I'm kind of a little bit drowning then. So this was the one I struggled a little bit with, but still passed it first attempt, but just with a 75%. It was a close call. To be honest, I don't think the scores matter too much, but for some jobs, above all, given the market situation, if you can basically claim that you passed all exams first time and that you had high scores, maybe 90% plus or whatever, it kind of puts you obviously in a better position than if you had to take your exams, for example, twice and you only averaged 80%. Or from like a CV point of view, it's for a first-time job, it's maybe a good point. But in the long run, as long as you get the ticket, then and you tick the box, then it's good. That's really I think for the scores in the ATPL exams, I think that's really the only time when they would matter. It's when you graduate from your ATPL school and you've got your CPL IR, maybe the MCC, and you go out there, apply for jobs. For the CV, it might look a little bit better, I think. Definitely. If you can, as I said, like claim the, hey, I've got like first time passes, 90% plus average. But once you're like an experienced pilot, they will never look back at, you know, your ATPL scores. So. However, you need to remember a little bit some of the subject and the subject matter itself, because then when you apply for jobs, very often they are, when you go for interview, there's ATPL questions, so you'll need to definitely remember some of the stuff. Of course, there's ways to prepare and revise things a little bit, but yeah, you need to remember a few things. It's not just forget about everything once it's done. Oh, the Kidan, you had 91% in AJK. Good. Empez, you have aerospace engineer degree and did OJT in Emirates Anger. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic. So you're more technical man. I'm not like so, I'm not such a technical person. I'm okay with like maths and some basic like physics and science in general, but I wouldn't call myself a technical person. A technical interview, ay ay ay. Yeah. Yeah, but that's what they use a little bit to when there's an interview process to make the selection. ATPL questions, do the compass tests, which is to kind of test your ability to learn a new aircraft, to learn flying. 99% of the time actually do a simulator evaluation as well. And then the usual either individual interview or otherwise both individual interview and group interview to see as well how you react in a group / like crew and how you interact basically with other people. If you're too dominant, if you're kind of subdued, all these things. It's but at the end of the day, I think for those interviews, you have to be yourself. You have to be natural. Just behave the way you would normally behave. And what's going on with this? Ah, here we are. I thought I'd lost the ability to change the view there. Yeah, for an interview, I think you have to be yourself. If you're trying to be somebody else, then I don't think it's gonna work, because they'll probably see you through the bullshit, basically. If you excuse my French again. So you have to be yourself. Don't pretend to be somebody that you're not. Kiko, yeah, you can post the link if you wish. As long as it's not a naughty link, then go ahead. How well are we doing? fantastic. Posture control. Right, let me catch up a little bit there. Yeah, Strato, the degree only really matters for the first job, for a CV basically. Once you become experienced in your field, then it's a little bit less relevant. The K-Dan says, once you make a lot of flashcards, that will help. It becomes easier, especially on gas turbines. Yeah, as I said, that was something that I was finding a little bit abstract, you know. It was not really speaking to me too much. But yeah, you've got to push yourself, try to learn a little bit. If there's something you're not too comfortable with, then you have to push the limits, push the boat a little bit. Fair enough, Ampez, fair enough. You know, if you go into computers, that's a valid avenue as well. French pilot, you're doing UK CA exams, yeah? Talking about CA, UK CA, I'm not really sure if it's gonna continue with EASA or if it's gonna kind of go its own way. I'm not really sure what they're gonna do there as well. And French pilot, a little kid going crazy about airplanes. Well, maybe not be too much of a kid, but showing enthusiasm for airplanes is definitely a good thing. It's not gonna get you wrong. So yeah, definitely show a bit of enthusiasm about airplanes. It'll get you a long way, but yeah, not to be too silly about it either, you know. But BGS is at the Bristol Grant School for the ATPL questions. I did my ATPL with Bristol Grant School at the time. They were a good school already. I'm sure it's still going on. I've not looked at it for quite some time, but yeah, Bristol Grant School was good. Oh yeah, in Australia you can do your CPL theory. You do the ATPL theory last. But for the CPL, do you need to do a CPL theory as well, or you just do the CPL? But then to be issued the license, you'll need at least some theory, or how does it work? Because I guess for each license you need like a theoretical part. So if you do CPL, then you need some CPL theory maybe, and then when you try to go beyond that, then you'll have to do the ATPL. I guess that's why, like in Europe in particular, you go straight for the ATPL, because if you want to fly commercially, then you'll need your ATPL exams. If you just want, for example, to be an instructor at the weekend, then you're just gonna have your CPL and just gonna be paid to go and fly around at the weekend or whatever, then CPL is enough, I guess. But if you want to go to the airlines, then eventually the ATPL exams is the way to go. Yeah, nowadays the database is definitely the helping, and there's so much feedback nowadays that I'm not sure how often the questions are changed, but the feedback is so extensive that the databases now have a lot of information in them. So yeah, definitely, that's the way to go. Right, 8.9 on arrival. That's not bad. In 1 hour and 20 minutes. Doing well. Looking at this. Cool. Very good, very good. Not much terrain anymore for the moment. A bit of flatter area. According to Evlasoft here. You can see those grey numbers. That's the terrain, the safe altitude. 22296, a little bit behind there. The 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock position, but otherwise going ahead. It's fairly low at the moment. Nice. So happy days. French pilot, you're talking about the UKCA, yeah? They updated to EASA 2020. New syllabus update. People complaining it's becoming a 320 type rating. Oh well, at least that will get you good for the 320 whenever you do it. Hey Kiko, that's good. A big 777 frame in your wall. That's amazing. It's an actual aircraft photo, yeah? Fantastic. Ah, okay, 777 Blake. So you do 7 subjects in the CPL, and then do the multi-engine instrument rating, and then do 7 ATPL theory subjects. So you only have 7 subjects for the ATPL, because in Europe it's 14, if I'm correct. So you do 7 and 7 instead of doing 14. I guess it's the same, but I guess the first 7 are called CPL. Yeah? It makes sense. Kiko, I'm not sure if you can host a picture. If there's a website that like host pictures, then maybe you can do it like that and then send the link. But otherwise, I'm not really sure how you can send the picture here. Yeah, it's as we said, once this is done and it's a lot of work, then the fun parts starts. And of course, it kind of makes sense to do the exams first, get it out of the way, because if you wait a little bit and you continue too much into the flying, then basically you invest money, and if you don't pass the exams, then it's money wasted. So yeah, IMG-BB, yeah, that would be a good one. Fantastic. Cool. Alright guys, I'm gonna go for a quick little break, and I'll be back in literally 1 or 2 minutes. Not gonna be away for too long. Stand by, don't go away, I'll be back. Yeah, I'm back. Cool. Yeah, I went to dig this out. One of the binders. This one I think has instruments and human factors. I don't know if you can see it. So one of the distance learning binders for the Bristol Ground School. Here we are. One of those things. Yeah, crazy stuff. And you've got 7 or 8 binders. As I said, some subjects are combined into one binder, others are on their own. Yeah, good old memories. The Bristol Ground School. Are they still open? They still exist? Oh, now they moved to CAE, Strato. Cool. CAE is a big one. It's a big player in the industry because you've got the simulators. It's the simulators, the training. They've got. Oh, here we are, Kiko. Oh yeah, fantastic. That is really good. Fantastic. Yeah, it's that Boeing, obviously like flight deck photo. Yeah, right. Yeah, and in a frame. Oh, beautiful. How big is it, dimension-wise? One meter long. Oh, wow. Yeah, that'll be huge. Fantastic. I should get one like this in the office. The wife will say no big frame like that, right? Well, she won't speak with a big voice like that, and just no frame like that. I don't want stuff in the house. Yeah, I'm sure you will enjoy it, Strato. It is hard work, but you seem to be keen on studying and working, and you're like, from what I can gather, you're like a hard worker. So you will enjoy it. You will have good success, I think, and then once it's done, then you can enjoy the flying. Fingers crossed. Actually, those lines are still showing on the display. I'll erase the fix there. Good. We've got Quito somewhere here. Yeah, SEQM, that's Quito, where we flew a couple of months ago on stream here. That was good fun. Gonna visit in the Tecnam P2008. Why is this? I don't know what that is. Oh, another picture. My obviously non-biased wall with posters. Oh, let's have a look. I can't pull it on stream, but I'll have a look here on my screen side, on side screen. I mean, let's open this. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, a little bit biased. A350-1000, Airbus Beluga, and Airbus Lanyards as well. Oh. Okay, fair enough. A lot of AFCAS tickets, yeah. Yeah, you still have to pay the bill, and they are chasing you for the... You're like keeping the receipts, and then they'll be chasing you for the bill. Yeah, that's a lot of them. Good. Fantastic. Yeah, a lot of Airbus references. Huh? Is the hat Airbus one? Oh yeah, the hat is Airbus. No? I can't see properly, but it looks like Airbus. Ah, yeah, of course, yeah. Born and bred, so it's okay. I understand. I'm actually not too far from Toulouse myself, but I don't have that. What's the word? Fidelity of to the place, or faithfulness to the place. I'm kind of, it doesn't bother me too much. And the hat is Airbus, like this one. Huh? Yeah, what can I say? What can I say? You're from the other side of the force. Oh, now we're doing Star Wars references. So if that is the actual reference. Hey, Carbon Bell, good morning in Halifax. How are you doing, sir? Halifax, which was the ETOPS alternate the other day on the cross the pond flight. So quite an important airport for transatlantic traffic. Not always, because what happens as well is that the coastline airports like Goose Bay or St. John's or Gander are very often used for ETOPS, but if those airports are a little bit not so great with the weather, then you can push it to Halifax, no problem. But Halifax is an important airport for the transatlantic traffic. Good morning, sir. Welcome. We're on the way to Bogota, where we'll see how the pressurization works, actually. Talking of which...
You are still dangerous.
Carbon Bell, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it, thanks.
You can be my wingman anytime.
Bullshit. You can be mine.
So very interesting, because the pressurization basically is, as you know, is keeping the atmosphere in the cabin breathable for us fragile humans. So it's keeping the pressurization at about 8,000 feet at the moment, which can be kind of realistic actually for this level, and it depends also how it works out. The delta P there, the differential pressure between the inside of the cabin and the outside, can actually be greater than 7.8. So it's kind of climbed the cabin a little bit more than what I would normally do. But it's already sitting at 8,000 feet, but we're landing at 8,400 feet. So what's going to be interesting, theoretically, looking at these numbers at the moment, is that during the descent, the cabin is going to actually climb a little bit more. And by the time we land, it should obviously equalize with the altitude of the airport, which is 8,400. So it's kind of sounds paradoxical, but that's what it's actually gonna do. In the descent, the cabin is gonna climb a little bit. So yeah, Carbon Bell, I'm sure I've heard of a few diversions and into Halifax. It's a good airport there, runway 0523. It's a long runway, so it's more than suitable airport. Yeah. and good for plane spotting. Yeah, because you would have like, you know, a lot of large wide body aircraft, and I like that. We yeah, if some of you have like questions in French, I can try to answer in French a little bit from time to time. As I said, I don't want to do too much French as well, because I don't want to ostracize the non-French speaking audience. And as I've always done it in English, it will be a little bit unfair now to start speaking French. But yeah, if there's a little bit something that you're not really sure in English, or you want to ask the questions in French, and I'll be more than happy, of course, to quickly answer in French. Even the Concorde, yeah. But I mean, that would have been a sight, huh? The Concorde in Halifax. That would have been magnificent. Such a beautiful aircraft. It's such a shame that, you know, from a technological point of view, although it's compared to today's technology, the Concorde is way kind of old. It looks like backwards. You still have those dials, and it's not like glass cockpit. But the ability to fly at twice the speed of sound is amazing. And now that we don't have it anymore, you can't help feel that it's a bit of a step back, because now we can't fly so fast anymore. You know, we stuck at decimal 84, 85. You know, 84% of the speed of sound, was they could do 200% of the speed of sound. And you can from Paris or from London get to New York before you actually left Paris, at least in terms of time. With the time difference, of course, you catch up and you get to your destination earlier, but it's just a shame, you know. I know, obviously, from an economical point of view, it doesn't make sense anymore, or it didn't make sense for the airlines to run it, because I think the problem with Concorde is that it was designed at a time when fuel was not the fuel price was not so much of a concern, but obviously after the oil crisis in the 70s and the way the oil price has been going on the last few years, it was obviously becoming a little bit too much. It's a bit of a fuel guzzler, so above all with the afterburners, takes a lot of fuel, but and not a lot of passengers as well, because it's only about 100 seats. So although they were all kind of first class and obviously quite expensive tickets to buy, but still for the airlines there was not enough money maybe to cover the cost of fuel and the aircraft maintenance and all these things. Oh, Carbon Bell, beautiful. That would have been such an awesome experience. Wow. Fantastic. Yeah, that's what I've always heard. You can see the curvature of the Earth whenever you're up at like 55 or 60,000 feet, when a kind of cruise climbs. You could start seeing the curvature of the Earth quite well, yeah. So the Earth is not flat then. Yeah, that is an awesome experience. That would have been absolutely amazing. Oh, good for you. I must bring nice memories when you were a schoolboy. Wow. That is very, very nice. Yeah, the flat Earth. There's actually something to kind of debunk a little bit the flat Earth thing, because very often in the flat Earth theory, the North Pole is kind of in the middle, and then you've got something, you've got like Europe, Africa, then kind of spread like this, North the Americas there, Australia on the other side. And so for example, if you say like you're gonna fly from South America to Australia, if you use the most direct route, that kind of takes you back over like America. And if you actually fly from South America to Australia, you're not gonna fly over America again. You know, you're gonna fly kind of over the ocean, over the Pacific, and get to Australia. So you know, you've got another way there to kind of debunk the theory that the Earth is flat, because, well, if it was flat, then you would fly over the north of America again. Yeah, it's true. Carbon Bell, you I think they used to leave maybe mid-morning, like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning from London, and then arrive in New York by 8 or maybe 9 o'clock in the morning. Because if the flight, if you do the maths, if the flight is, let's say, 3.5 hours, let's say 3.5 hours, like 10 plus 3 is, or 10 plus 3.5 is 1:30 UK time, minus 5 hours is like 8:30 in the morning in New York. So with the time difference, you catch up. You actually fly faster than the sun actually moves across the surface of the Earth. It's a bit of a thought, huh? Fly faster than the sun moving across the surface of the Earth. So yeah. Because on a subsonic aircraft like this one or any other current aircraft, the sun is definitely beating you. I mean, they'll move much faster than we are. But the Concorde was faster. Hey, Boyd Jelly, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it.
Be my wingman anytime.
Bullshit. You can be mine.
And Stealth Speedway, I think the alert is gonna come through. No, maybe not. I see the alert on the chat. So, Stealth Speedway, thank you very much for the follow. Not sure why the alert is not coming through, but once again, thank you. Yeah, it's a shame, you know, for Concorde, but yeah, we might start maybe in the next few years, you know, flights into space, do a bit of space tourism, have like some sort of like space hotel, either like attached to the ISS or something similar, with all the progress with SpaceX and NASA and all those entities that I'm sure they will work also on something where you can do flights into orbit, and maybe you'll be able to fly from, let's say, Europe to Australia in only a couple of hours or whatever, do a couple of orbits, and then, you know, drop down to Australia quite quickly, instead of doing like 18 or 19 hours from London to Perth. So it will save a little bit of time. But yeah, we're not quite there yet, but it will come. I mean, we've got, you know, the technology is slowly emerging, so we'll definitely get there. It's just a matter of time. Hey, Tugai, thank you very much. Maraba. I think, yeah, Maraba. Yeah. Good afternoon. We are on the way to Bogota. So almost there. I have 50 minutes to go, which makes me think that I'm gonna check in the options that I've got the correct Yeah, I did have 40. I'll definitely enable 40 in the GPAWS countdown.
Flight 209er, you are cleared for takeoff.
Roger. Huh?
Airborne 2000. Thank you very much for the follow.
Roger. Huh?
Thank you.
Request vector. Over. What?
Flight 209er, clear for
That will
vector
help.
324.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger, roger.
What's our vector, Victor?
Oh, Top Gun 2 got delayed. Yeah, I got delayed further. Yeah. 777 Beg, thank you again. I do appreciate the subscription. They are only very modest emotes and stuff, but I do appreciate it. Thank you. Strato, yeah, no worries. No worries. Good luck with the dissertation and all that stuff. Yeah, go and get that sorted out. You can catch up on this anytime. Good luck. Grazie. Right, actually, because we're not very far, it's only... where are we? That's not a good thing to say, where are we? No, we just have those, it's about 200 and... yeah, just over 300 miles to run. Yeah. So we'll start looking at the arrival. For some reason I don't have the charts for this one, so I'll stick to whatever is in the EFB. And well, I have the charts, but not in that chart package. So I'll cross-check with the Evlasoft DFB. Show you a little bit how it works in Bogota. It's a little bit funny. And yeah, we'll have a look. So where's the EFB? Here it is. So the EFB, we'll have a look at the arrival. I think it's gonna be runway 13 left. Flight aware was showing 13 left the last couple of days. Meta SKBO. So variable at 7,000 meters, light drizzle. Oh wow, it's drizzling. 12 degrees and 1027. Fantastic. Oh well. Interesting weather today. Mist, fog in Lima, and low ceiling and drizzle in Bogota. Wow. So the arrival. We'll take runway 13 left then, because the wind is light and variable, so it's no problem. And it's the GR 3 Echo arrival. So we'll put it here, activate that. So from Girona. Oh, it's like Girona in Spain almost. So that's sorted out here. And in FMC, first of all, we'll check the recall. There's nothing there. Check the notes. And then we'll go departure arrival. I think it's the ILS Yankee with the RNAV background to it. So for once we don't pick up the Zulu, which is in the reverse alphabetical order, but we'll pick up the Yankee. The Zulu is more like a conventional navigation with references to VOR and things like that, and DME. The ILS Yankee has the references are based on RNAV waypoints, so, and the missed approach as well is based on RNAV, so it's kind of a little bit more modern. So that's why I'll go for a Yankee this time. I'm not sure if that's the one that is being used, but that's what I'll select today. So we'll pick up ILS Yankee 13 left. Transition is definitely via Amves, and it's the GR3 Echo arrival. We've got all the information for Bogota arrivals here. We can execute there. But then, as I said, we'll run through the arrival here, which I'll cross-check with what I've got here, but I think it will be accurate. Yeah. So yeah, we've got no, there's a mistake there. That Golf India Romeo is not called Girona. I think the database has made a mistake. Oh yeah, NDB is a handful. I remember like where I did the instrument rating, there was an airport nearby with NDB, so you were like practicing NDB approaches there, and it was close to an estuary, so the NDB was with the water. The NDB signal kind of sometimes is not straight and kind of deflects, and yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare to shoot down that NDB approach, because at some point you thought you were like doing well, and then the needle was going whoop, and then coming back, and you're like, well, make up your mind, either you're pointing in this direction or you're pointing in this direction, but don't keep moving, you know. Anyway, it's one of those things. No, this place is called Girardot. It's not called Girona. So that's wrong, Evlasoft. I was surprised that's where this was called Girona. Anyway, so from Golf India Romeo, we're supposed to be at 260 and 210 above, so that's correct. It's not showing in the EFB, but it is on the chart. And then we're going to Jamba, which is 270, yeah, and 210 above, so that's correct. Then we go to Irupu, 250 and 17,000 feet. That is correct. And that's where there's potential for shortcut, because we're not gonna do that big arc to come back to Amves. We'll probably bypass from Nor 01 there directly onto Amves, which, as the chart says, ATC can take you directly and not fly the whole kind of arc. That's what we'll do. So we'll go maybe to the Nor 01 waypoint first, 17,000 feet, yeah. From there we'll join to Amves, just save a bit of time and virtual fuel. Here we go. And Amves is 13,000 feet, 215 knots. Actually, we can maybe make it 13,000 or above. Oh, mind you, no, it says 13, so let's leave it at 13. There'll be a bit of a level segment, which will help actually with decelerating the aircraft. Hey, Dobby, how are you doing? Welcome back. And after Amves, then we'll go to the ILS Yankee approach. We left ILS Yankee. Oh yeah, Amves. So from Amves at 13,000 feet, we go to Obev, still at 13,000. Then to the BO 613, still at 13,000, which is this point here. Actually, it doesn't show the Yanav waypoint. Then all the way to the runway 13 left. Good. And then for the missed approach, I'll have to set 185 here. There's a speed limit, which is now in the database. So you have to, that's why you have to check, basically. It's Yankee. Minimum 20 degrees of bank, so you need to turn, basically. I will make this one 9,000 feet or above. Like this, then we go to the BO 692, 694, 695 at 12,000 feet, then to Gouldy, and then to Amves 13,000. So initially there's a level off at 12,000 feet at the BO 695, and then you can climb to 13. So in the MCP, when you capture the glide slope, you set 12,000. that's the initial climb for the missed approach. Good stuff. So that's all sorted out. It's all in there. The FMC checks, so that'll be good. Yeah, I'm doing well, Dobby. Thank you very much. Doing fantastic. I'm looking forward to this arrival into Bogota today. It'll be good fun. Right, let me get rid of this. Here we are. What else? We'll sort out the minima. So here for the minima, because they are so high, we're gonna have to use the little trick. And the aircraft, they wouldn't be so bad, but here I need to use the little trick. So the minima are 8580. So I'm gonna use the little trick, which is to go into the menu here and go to FS control, switch it on by pressing the button, and then go to FS. And here where it says minimum set, you're gonna type a little bit like Airbus, I believe, the actual minima, so 8580. Set it here. Then come back to the menu and FS control, switch it off again. That's it, and now you've got the minima down here, 8580. If you have to twist and turn the barrow knob there, it's gonna take like half an hour to go up to 8,500 feet. So we'll do it like that. It's much faster. It will take forever indeed. So yeah, that's a good tip. You're not supposed to do it like that. That's not the correct way of doing it, but it will help here save a little bit of time, because otherwise it's gonna take forever. And the aircraft is not too bad because it turns quite quick. So to get up to 8,000 feet will take maybe, I don't know, 20-30 seconds or whatever. Not even 30 seconds. It goes relatively quick. But here, whew, it's gonna take forever. Then we'll work out the VREF, so we'll see the fuel on landing, which is predicted to be 8.4, and we'll add up to the zero fuel weight, so 228.5 roughly.
Both
hey, Aerostream, thank you.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
So the expected landing weight is gonna be 228.5, so it's giving us for flap 30 VRF of 143, and we'll fly +5, so 148 on final approach. So that's sorted out. The QNH from the METAR was 1027, so as I said, it's greater than 1013, so that's good. We can land. And another thing we need to do is in the descent page, set the 250 knots below flight level 100 restriction. And actually, since the airport is at 8,300 and something feet, then we need to take that into account. So add basically 10,000 feet to the airport elevation. So we'll round it up to flight level 185, so 250 below flight level 185, like this. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the FMC at this stage. We'll go auto brakes 3, which will take us pretty much all the way down the runway, but with the physics of the simulation here, it's a little bit different. Dobby, it's gonna be 10 years. Time flies. I feel old again, you know. Time to do some pension planning again. Good God. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's all sorted out. I don't see what else I could do. So yeah, as I pointed out in the introduction, the aircraft, the maximum altitude where you can land in this aircraft is 8,400 feet. And the airport, as you can see here, where is it? This. Where's the altitude of the airport? Yeah, it's in amber, then highlighted. It's 8,360. So we are 40 feet below the limit. So we're really playing with the limitations of the aircraft there. But it's still possible, so that's why there are limits, I guess. I get rid of this again. Yeah. No, it's the simulation here is quite good. It's quite accurate. It's not obviously a simulation to train on to get actual training on the aircraft or for your type rating or anything like that. It's not approved, and it's not exactly the same. But it's a good representation of what the aircraft is like, and I think for simulation it's probably the best out there. So it has good things for it. It's definitely a good simulation here. Right, we'll bring FS to crew again and do the briefing. Brief. So the approach briefing here, we'll bring this little window there to synchronize again the actions between what I intend to do and what FS2 crew is aware of. That's what the briefing is. At the end of the day, it's not so much to say things out loud just for the sake of it. It's basically to share, you know, what your thoughts are about the arrival, the approach, and so that everybody is basically playing from the same hymn sheet, you know. Everybody is thinking along the same lines. So we're gonna go on the star, which is abbreviated star today, but it's gonna be ILS Cat 1, the minima. It's gonna take a while to go up. It's not too bad actually. We'll set 85, 86 and then 80. So 85, 80. We're gonna land with flaps 30. The runway, if it's drizzling, it might be wet actually. Level 3 is good enough, I hope. But I think in the simulator with the, unless you have float or something like that, but I think in the simulator with the friction, it's should be okay. We'll start the APU on the ground once we vacate the runway. We'll keep the transponder on as well. That's what ASDX is. We'll go to a gate, and the concerns are both. Once again, I'll close this. We'll do the descent checklist.
Stand by. Descent checklist. Recall. Checked. Notes.
Checked.
Auto brake level 3. Landing data.
VRF is 143. Minimums 8580 feet.
VREF 143. Minimums 8580 feet. Approach briefing.
Completed.
Descent checklist complete.
Yeah, I wasn't sure there I was going to catch the response, but it's okay, moved on. That's why also it's good to brief FS2 crew, because then when you say, for example, the minimums, I think it didn't pick up, the voice recognition didn't pick up, but because it was briefed, then it knew about it, so that's quite good. Excellent. Not very far from top of descent. It's 14:20 here, 14:38 in 18 minutes. Yeah, and that's more or less the time frame that the briefing will be done for the arrival, about 15-20 minutes before starting the descent. I mean, the briefing would be done. Jump on the PA, kind of provide some information on the weather, the landing time. Wish everybody a good day after that. Yeah, So let's see if the pressurization has changed. No. So and the cabin at the moment still 8,000 feet, and as I pointed out a while ago, in the descent, the cabin paradoxically is gonna actually keep climbing to 8,400 feet to equalize with the outside once we land. So it's it is a bit paradoxical, because you think, well, as you descend, that the cabin altitude should descend as well, but because the airport is so high, it has to actually equalize with the outside, so it'll have to climb. And that's why there's a limitation, I think, with the landing altitude, is because of the pressurization system. After like a certain altitude, then it cannot cope anymore. Ralba, not specifically, no. No, I kind of came up a little bit later on. I never really had this burning ambition to fly, no. Oh, the bot says you can put your landing rate predictions in. So go ahead. Clim Pilot, my question is, no, there's no stupid questions. That's a good question. It depends what is available in the FMC, what sort of takeoff calculation you can do. There's not a lot of information out there, unfortunately, so to actually calculate your takeoff performance is a little bit tricky, but there's still a couple of software like Topper and Topcat, I think, where you can do some takeoff performance calculation. If you've got both the derate, so like you're saying, like derated like TO1, -10, -20, and then you've got the assumed temperature as well. The way you do it is that you will start with the lower derate and see if you can take off with the lower derate, along with, you know, your aircraft weight and all the other parameters. If you cannot do it, then you will move up to takeoff 1 and see, you know, if it's possible to do it. If you still can't do it, then you move on to full takeoff thrust. So you kind of start from the lowest and then move up. For example, if you can do it with takeoff 2, then you can see if you can take an assumed temperature. Maybe you're still relatively light, so you can maybe take like a takeoff 2 and then take an assumed temperature for the takeoff. The climb function, climb 1, climb 2, will kind of be derived from the initial thrust that you select. There's no like a set way, actually. It's a little bit complicated the way the computer works it out, but the chances are, if you select like takeoff 2, it will go for like climb 2, but not maybe necessarily, you know, all the time. So it's a little bit more complicated. Hey, via the arrival, thank you for that follow. But yeah, that's basically the way you work it out. So you work from the lowest. If the lowest works, then you can try to take an assumed temperature. If the takeoff 2, you know, derate doesn't work, then you move up to takeoff 1 derate. Once again, see if there's an assume available there. So, for example, it's a little bit paradoxical, maybe also because the actual N1, you know, the thrust rating there, the N1, given with a full, let's say, takeoff 1, could be the same as takeoff rating with an assume of maybe 40 degrees. It's the same N1 that the engines will provide, but I think it makes more sense to start from the bottom and work your way up. If that makes sense, I hope I'm not making it too difficult. Please tell me, I mean, because I'm not... I won't be offended or whatever, but I see that you know about the derated takeoff and minus 10%, which will be then the takeoff 1, and minus 20%, which will be the takeoff 2. Asset man,
both pilots.
Thank you for the follow.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Oui, oui.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
So yeah, that's the way to work it out, I think. It's really a shame because there's no much out there to help with the takeoff calculations. So a lot of the time it's a bit what I would call like eyeballing it. You know, you kind of try to roughly guess what's gonna be, but actually the takeoff performance takes a lot of factors into account, which probably goes beyond the realm of the simulation here, but as a general way of doing it, the lighter you are, the longer the runway is, the smallest the flap setting is gonna be for takeoff, and the more reduction you can take. That's really the I know it might sound obvious, but that's really the general thing. And then comes like little variations, of course, with maybe the runway length. If there are like mountains around or things like that, then it starts like adjusting the settings. But generally speaking, yeah, the lighter you are, the smaller the flap setting, and the more derate you can take. Bearing in mind that, of course, you need like a decent length for the runway, of course, because if the runway is short, even if you're light, you might not necessarily be able to reduce too much. So it's not... I'm sorry if this is not like very accurate answer for the takeoff calculation, but as I said, there's not much out there to actually do it. And I don't know if you were here when we did the initial takeoff calculations, but PMDG actually, since the update, the speeds provided in the FMC are a little bit off. Whereas before they were not too bad compared to what Boeing would provide for the same data. But now the PMDG numbers are like way out, so yeah. So I don't know. Simon, I'll send you the standard reply. Once again, I don't mean to be difficult, but there you go. Right, almost there. Dun, 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 dun. Mind you, with the airport at 8,000 feet, since we are at 37, we only have to descend, what, 29,000 feet. So it's as if we were like flying at 29,000 feet at the moment, and the airport will be at sea level. So it's not a too long descent. Yeah, I've been flying to Sweden before. Yeah, well, familiar is a big word.
Negative, Captain. This is non-negotiable.
Yeah,
Change course immediately, or I will be forced to blow you out of the sky.
Yes, thank you for the
Sounds a wheel. Sounds a wheel right now, Captain.
Yeah, I've not tried the EFB vector, so I don't know if what the EFB gives you and what the FMC gives you, if it's the same, if there's like differences. Maybe with the EFB it's more accurate. I know that on the PMDG777 the EFB and the FMC speeds are actually either the same or very similar on the 777, since I still have the lunch box here. I can't really tell. I've not upgraded to the 200 ER, so yeah, I don't have the EFB here, since I've got Boeing performance itself actually for work. Then yeah. Hey, Jess Gaming. Oh yeah, it's a good reflection of the aircraft.
Negative,
it's a good
Captain. This is non-negotiable. Change
representation
course
of
or
it.
I will be forced to blow you out of the sky.
It's not perfect, but
Sounds a wheel.
it's as close as you can get here for
right
the
now, Captain.
desktop simulation. Pilot Luke, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it, thank you. Today, yeah, kind of go back a little bit outside, actually, that's true. Let's go back outside. We've not been outside for a while. It's the old TAM livery, provided in the PMDG Operation Center. So I don't think it's called TAM anymore. I think now it's LATAM, and there's a LATAM Brazil. There's definitely a LATAM Peru, which is the one we're doing today, and another LATAM. There's a few subsidiaries, I think, in South America, but this is, I think, the older livery. But I was not very keen on downloading like a livery from, one of those downloads websites, because very often it kind of messes up the configuration. So usually I've done it in the past and it's kind of messed up the simulator. So I decided now just to use the PMDG liveries. It's a good sample anyway. You can't be too demanding. We're going back towards some mountains now, I think. Yeah. 15, 14, I can see on the EFB here. Once again, those gray numbers here are the safe altitudes. So 17 here, 17,000 feet, almost 16 there, 13, 15. So back to the mountains again. And we can see the mountains outside, of course. Cool. Pilot Luke, I've always heard that the flying characteristics on X-Plane 11 are better. I don't have X-Plane 11, so I cannot tell, but that's what I've always heard, is that the flight dynamics or flight characteristics are much better there. So I'm not sure. Maybe you can tell me, like, in relation to your experience, but I don't know about X-Plane, so I can't really comment. But I would tend to think that it's P3D is still quite good, the one thing it does very well is that if you fly a small aircraft, for example, like in Bogota, where we're gonna be landing, you fly like a Cessna or whatever, it's gonna struggle mightily to take off. So it's gonna, the base simulator is gonna take into account the altitude at the airport, and you know that with altitude, the air density decreases, and with less dense air, the engines produce less thrust. And also you need to fly faster to produce the same amount of lift. So this is definitely something that is simulated in P3D, because do the experience, go into a high altitude airport, and you'll see the drop in aircraft performance. It's very noticeable. Yeah, is it the flight factor 777 in X-Plane? Yeah, I've not heard good things about it. The PMDG, I'm not advertising. I don't have any links or any interest in PMDG whatsoever. But I think it's definitely the best out there. Carbon Bell, this is version 4.5. I've not made the move to version 5. Maybe I will, but I've recently transferred like PC setup, so the thought to transfer all the add-ons and stuff again to version 5 is about the thought. So yeah, I don't think I will do it, but because then will come the time when those add-ons move on to Flight Simulator 20. So once, you know, it goes to Flight Simulator 20, then we'll have to move on to FS20 again. It's an everlasting evolution. So yeah, just settle down on one thing and enjoy it, you know, instead of always having to upgrade, update, blah, 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 blah. It's yeah. Yeah, I think it's you're kind of always chasing your tail otherwise, so I kind of decided to settle down on something and then bit there. Oh, cool. There's not much traffic going into, I'm looking on the side here at SimAware on VATSIM. Yeah, there's no much traffic. Cool, let's, oh, almost missed the top of descent. FMC message, reset FMC altitude, and the first waypoint should be, yeah, 210. So we'll set 210. Cool. Almost missed the top of descent. Good God. That would have been terrible. Yeah, I'm not sure what the setup is with version 5. I guess aircraft like this will be just reinstalling the thing for version 5. Other software might be able to just change the directory, or you know what the software is pointing to on your PC. But
you'll be flying a
we all are. Thank you for the follow.
Out of Hong Kong. Yes, sir.
So yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with version 4 as well, you know, it's version 4.5. I think with the latest updates, because I only set it up maybe now like a month and a half ago or 2 months ago when I transferred from one machine to the other. So I kind of re-downloaded it, so it's kind of, you know, the latest available, I think. So yeah, I'm happy with it. At the end of the day, it seems to be doing the job, and for me, it's not so much about the simulator, but it's more about, like, you know, the simulation / aviation and the flying side of things. So yeah, that's the one thing I was wondering, is about like the scenery, you know, if the version 4 scenery coming from either like specific version 4 sceneries, or even like previous P3D versions, or like converted sceneries from FSX, if they would work in version 5. That's something I would like to find out, actually, because I do rely on all those sceneries. So cool. So inbound, not Girona, as the EFB was saying, but it's a place called Giraldo or something like that. Si, senor. So let's see what we can do. So as I said, we are descending. The cabin is kind of stable at 8,000 feet for the moment. We'll try to keep an eye, but then I'll probably forget. We've already lost 7,000 feet, descended 7,000 feet since the cruise, and the cabin altitude has not moved. Normally at that stage the cabin will start descending already. So it's still staying at the top of the mountain, so to speak. Cool. And then we're taking the shortcut on the arrival. There's that big arc as I showed, but we're not doing the big arc. With the high altitude airports as well, the landing is a little bit funny because you don't have as much authority on the stabilizer at the back, and on the not on the stabilizer, on the elevator. Basically on the flight controls, they feel a little bit more sluggish. So in the aircraft, at least, you need to flare a little bit earlier and kind of smoothen the landings. So it's another consideration as well. And of course, as I pointed out before, because we've done like high altitude airports before here, the relation in terms of speed in the air and ground speed is quite important, because you fly much faster when you are like flying around those high altitude airports than while you would be flying at sea level, for example. So you have to keep an eye on your speed and be conservative on the speeds, because otherwise over the ground you're still flying very fast. Indicated it might not be too much, it might be in the normal range of speeds, but over the ground it's much faster because of the air density. So that's something to bear in mind. Right, this one we shall ban. Ooh. Banned. Right, let's put the seatbelt sign on, actually. And now we can still, yeah, still 21,000 feet, good. Okay. Here's the moment of truth. Dun 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 dun. We'll have a bit of a view outside still. Yeah, I removed the sound there. There's an option in Chase Plane to remove the sound, because the engines kind of rev up and down when the views change, so it's a bit like a little bit noisy and a little bit annoying, because it goes like woo. You must have experienced it as well if you have Chase Plane, so kind of decided to quiet the outside views.
1,000 feet to level off.
Oh, 1,000 feet to level off. Let's look at what's going on then. Oh yeah, but now because we're trying to reduce the speed from the decent speed that was around 310 or something to 270, then it kind of makes the descent a little bit more shallow to allow for the deceleration. So that's nicely done as well. Right, and after 21 it was 17. And I think seat transition was, yeah, 190, so that's correct. It's like the US basically. So we'll wait until we pass the restriction at Djerba there, flight level 210, and then after that, and only after that, you can reset the QNH and go down to 17,000 feet. So we passed that one, so now we can set the QNH, which is 1027. And of course then the VNAV changes because there's a big difference between standard, which is 1013, and the 1027 for the QNH. I'm sure I will catch up. Cool. We've got the frequency already showing there, 111.3, 134 inbound. Yeah, that's correct. And the ident should be India Echo Delta Romeo for the ILS. Just use a little bit of speed brake. Not too much. Increase the rate of descent a tiny bit. Cool. I actually did a video on Bogota at the time when there was no RNP approaches, so where you basically had to do a circle to land on 3-1 right or left, which seemed to be an interesting approach actually. Now there's like those curved RNP approaches, which I'm sure makes it a little bit more easy, I guess. But at the time, if you had to do a circle, good luck with that. Right, now we can start the speed brakes and we've got VNAV path again. So we need to cross Irupu at 17,000 feet on the QNH, which is set and 250 knots. So the speed is coming back to 250. We are on the path, so I should cross Irupu at 17,000 exactly. That's the plan. And FS2 crew is considering the altitude of the airport, so at 10,000 feet above the airport, so at 18,000 something.
1,000 feet to level off.
It sets the lights here. Nicely done as well. We'll go 13,000 now. It's gonna cross 17,000 exactly at Irupu. And we'll do the approach checklist.
Checked.
Approach checklist.
Approach checklist. Altimeters.
1027 set.
1027. Approach checklist complete.
Yeah, it's leveling off a little bit. It's struggling a little bit, but it's not too bad, I guess. And here I've got to set. Why is it not
both
working?
pilots.
Ah, no,
Can you fly this plane
No.
and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't
Hey,
call me Shirley.
Wavy, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it, thank you. I will set this one to 1027. Yeah, so it's leveling off at 17,000 feet. Actually, it should keep 17 there until the next point. Or at least closer to the next waypoint, maybe just 2 miles or so. I saw the full moon the other day actually from the plane. It was amazing because you fly at night and you see all the clouds, all the storms and stuff very clearly because the moon is so bright that, you know, it lights up the sky. It's obviously not like daylight. Let's not exaggerate, but you know what it's like. It makes it much clearer at night with the full moon and the bright full moon. Yeah, I did notice that the other night. Right, so now we're passing that No 01 waypoint and we'll go straight to a Amves, you know, for a straight-in approach. Right, a couple of miles before we'll go down to 13,000 feet, and once it transitions the waypoint, then it's gonna start the descent, I believe. Here we are. Beautiful. Yeah, starting the descent. Nice. Yeah, Connor, the predictions are open, I believe. The software is still... Yeah. So far, we have 7 predictions on average 173 feet per minute. Maybe a little bit optimistic.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be arriving at our destination.
Maybe a little bit optimistic.
To another flight. Please see the customer service
For this type of airports.
Inside the terminal for connecting gate information.
We'll see.
For your continued safety, flight attendants will now walk through the cabin to secure it for landing. We'll be collecting all service items, newspapers, and any other items you wish to discard or may not be taking off the aircraft.
Bogota traffic, Latam Peru 2446, inbound Amves for the ILS-13 left.
Stow these devices and all other carry-on items.
That's for Unicom.
Opening overhead bins as items may have shifted during our
122.8.
Please stow your tray tables and return your seats to their upright position and check the security of your seatbelts. We will be landing shortly. Thank you.
No, the predictions are still open. I believe it stays open until pretty much landing time, just before landing. I think it stays open. So it gives you a chance until the very last few seconds to express a wish for either a good landing or a bad one. Virtual pilot, that's... I think you're doing a wise choice there. We all are as well. I think it's gonna be more in that range today. Yesterday was a good one, 99 was good. That was a good one yesterday. I was surprised. But today, I've got my doubts. So look guys, it's showing 250 here on the PFD. And on the ground with only very little wind, 321, so that's because we're flying at 14,000 feet, which is only like 6,000 feet above the ground. If you fly to an airport which is at sea level and you're at 6,000 feet at 250 knots, your true airspeed and ground speed are not gonna be as high. Yeah, true, they didn't know, it was like smooth as a baby's bum, as they say. A good landing is a landing you can walk away from. That's another quote. But here there's a level segment and the speed should come back, so that's good. I'll go vertical speed actually now and go back to
1,000
the
feet
speed.
to level off.
And we'll arm the approach as well. 24 miles. Yeah, should be alright. Let's see the drizzly weather in Bogota. Let's take up an update on the weather. It has changed. Still variable at 2 knots, no more drizzle. Yeah, it's recent drizzle. R-E-D-Z is recent drizzle. Hey, Pilot Pepe, buongiorno, how are you doing? Yeah, doing good, thank you. So we are going to level off, do a level segment there. Localizer is captured. Flaps 1.
Speed check, flaps 1.
Here's the glide slope. Here's the moment of truth. Flaps 5.
Speed check, flaps 5.
Yeah, the airport elevation is A360 indeed, yeah, it's very high. As said, it's almost to the limits of the aircraft, because the aircraft can land at the maximum is 8,400, so Flaps 15.
Speed check, flaps 15.
Yeah, so now you want really to decelerate, because check the ground speed is still quite high. So that level segment is good actually to decelerate. It's gonna work out nicely. Now it's adding up a bit of thrust, but at least we are on speed now. Flaps 15 speed is good to go down the ILS. Glide slope captured, and we said initially was 12,000 feet. And here's the airport in the background. Hopefully there's no elevation issues with the scenery. It shouldn't, but we'll see how it works out. Check the rate of descent as well on the ILS is quite high. It should stabilize and reduce as we reduce the speed, but for the moment... Yeah, and the scenery there, it's sitting on the plateau. No, still the Barrow Ralba, because we don't fly no to land, so we're still basing the landing and the decision to land or not on the altimeter, not on the ride alt. So no, definitely the Barrow. Yeah, Carbon Bell, you do lose a little bit the lift and the elevator on the tail, you know, for the flare. It gets a little bit more sluggish, so you have to flare a little bit earlier and kind of have more of a feel for what the aircraft is doing. It's not as sensitive as at sea level, so it's a little bit tricky indeed. Gear down. Flaps 20.
Speed check, flaps 20.
I thought FS2 crew had gone quiet again. Seems to do that from time to time. Oh, there's somebody down there on the TCAS. Huh. Flaps 30.
Speed check, flaps 30.
Bogota traffic, Lamperu 2446, ILS 13 left to land. Landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Landing checklist complete.
And I hope the scenery is not gonna play up. Let's see. According to the BGL file, the glide slope was in the right place, so unless that kind of plateau there plays up, otherwise should be good.
2500.
Alright, landing checklist is done. The
Cabin
missed
crew,
approach
take your
altitude is set. Cabin is seated. We're gonna be stabilized at 1,000 feet. Good. Let's disconnect the automation. Now we've got the flight director. Wish me luck and brace for impact.
1,000 feet. Approach stable.
Check the ground speed, 174. And indicated 148. Very fast. Dun 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 dun.
13 left.
Brace for impact. The flare as well, you know, comes out of a higher speed of, as a higher rate of descent. As you see at the moment it's about 850, 900 feet per minute. Most of the time it's maybe 800 feet per minute, so you flare out of a higher rate of descent, so that makes it also a little bit more tricky for the landing.
Approaching minimums.
There'll be a few...
Terrain.
Minimum.
Disregard the terrain. There'll be a few, oops.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Right, sit down. Sit down. Ah! Floaty. Floaty, floaty.
Speed brakes up. Reversers normal.
That's it. Ah, not too bad. What was the damage? 237. Oh, that's alright. I told you. 60 knots.
1,200 meters.
Very nice. Right, so we'll take the... Actually, the landing
100 meters remaining.
performance, yeah, there's always a margin included anyway. Welcome to Bogota. At least the scenery was okay indeed. Subsonic, hey, wise choice today. Minus 222, you were 15 feet per minute off. Beautiful. Congratulations. Is it 2 in a row now? Right. Yeah, I think that's 2 in a row, huh? Yesterday was you as well, huh? Right, so let's vacate here.
Flight 209er, you are cleared for takeoff.
Roger. Huh?
LA departure frequency
Hey,
123.9er.
Nova, thank you very much for the follow.
Request vector. Over. What?
Flight 209er, clear for vector 324.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Right, so we gently vacate. Speed brake is still up. Then speed brake is retracted. Clean up the aircraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the conclusion of our flight. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign and the aircraft is parked.
Yeah, Bernine, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Gather your belongings and disembark. We'd like to thank you for flying with us today.
Yeah, there's definitely an aircraft over there. Cool. Let's accelerate a little bit on the taxi. Not taxi like a granny again. And then we're gonna go, I think it's gate 19. So number 5, then number 6. Oh. And the handling agent is Avianca. We are here on Alpha, and then we'll cut across a little bit further up. So that's why I like FS2 Crew, because it kind of configures all the lights and retracted the flaps already. The auto brake switch is back to off. It does a lot of things that kind of allows you to concentrate on the flying, which is what crew work is. One guy flies the plane and the other guy kind of monitors the situation and does the radio, the switching of buttons and things like that. So FS2 Crew in that respect is very nice. Where's that gate? Anyway, we'll find it. Yeah, for the 737 it's good as well, and there's 2 or 3 SOPs as well, huh, from what I understand. Whereas on the 777 it's only 1 set of SOPs, which is roughly the Boeing SOPs. There's not really any specific way of... But the Boeing way is the way. little bit. Taxing like a granny, but then sometimes if you add too much thrust, then it keeps going away. So let's see on the chart, 90. Oh yeah, it's in the corner over there. So I can take the third left. B6, Bravo 6 actually, okay. Cool. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the arrival here into Bogota. It's a spectacular approach. We forgot because I was concentrated a little bit on the flying, which was not perfect. But oh, it shows 8,000 here. Ah yeah, but it's because it's yeah, I'm talking rubbish. But it should have started to come up a little bit. We'll see once we are on the ground and shut down. It should equalize. I would tend to think, but we'll see how it's simulated. Maybe it's not simulated properly as well, so we'll see. And even with thrust, the aircraft doesn't want to taxi. Ah no, we'll go not this left, but we'll go the next left on Papa actually. Good. Hey Connor, no worries. Thank you very much for joining me today. We'll see you next time. Take care. Thank you. 777 Blake, you're welcome. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks again for the sub. So this is still Alpha. We are going to go onto Papa and then join gate 19. Yeah, so brake a little bit. Turn left here on Papa. Turn. And then, yep, continue on Papa and then enter the cul-de-sac there. Good old French word. Which means the bottom of the bag. If you're after some translation, literal translation. But you do say cul-de-sac as well in English, so it's a good old French word or phrase. Which, as I said, means the bottom of the bag. You're welcome, Rabba. Thank you very much. I appreciate you coming here again today. Right, here's 19. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to go around there. Try to follow the line. Hopefully we've got a line. Yeah, here's the stand there with the ground staff waiting. So turn left here. Then hopefully we've got the line to the gate. Yeah, here's the line. Lights and doors. That tells FS2 crew to
cabin crew disarm doors and cross-check.
Switch off the taxi lights and also make the PA to disarm the doors. And here we have the guidance system. I set up the gate with the guidance system instead of the marshaller. And also position the equipment so it's out of the way. Alright, so we got Boeing 777 on the guidance system. That's good. I will try to gently bring it in. No, don't stop. That brake is very sensitive on the trigger button on the joystick. Feet? No. Almost. Push, push. That's it. Cool. Stop! Parking brake is set. And the APU is running, so we can shut down the engines. We'll disarm the doors here. Yeah, it's not done it, so disarm all the doors. And we'll open this one and do the rest. Flight detector off, the speed will go back to 100. Thank you very much, I appreciate it, thank you. Once again, you're rocking. We'll set this one to the ident page. And that's pretty much it, really. We need to switch off the weather radar all the time here on this side. Are we good? Should call for the shutdown checklist.
For the checklist.
Shutdown checklist.
Shutdown checklist. Parking brake.
Set.
Shutdown checklist complete.
That's it. We can disembark our passengers. Request deboarding. I will disembark 30 people. Oh no, we went to Jet 2. Okay, is it? Oh yeah, that's the default. Okay, oh, that's interesting. Anyway. I'm gonna have to open the second door then. This one. I will close this one then. It's gonna come to the outside there. The number 2 door. That's it. Beautiful. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Bogota. Victor, thank you very much for joining us today. Lewis, my pleasure. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Time permitting, of course. That's it. We'll disembark the passengers, the cargo. We Holler, thank you very much for joining us today as well. I hope you enjoyed the flight. We'll see you next time. I'll keep you posted for the next one, guys. Like always, I'll hang around for a few minutes. See if you have any last minute questions or any last minute comments. We'll see the deboarding, offloading of the cargo and stuff. Yeah, this is the old TAM livery. On top of this is Brazil. Brazil. Not really. The one today is Latam Peru, so same but different. Markfly 1, it's a good representation of the aircraft for the desktop simulation. It's obviously not based on the software that runs the level D training simulators, but it's as good as you can get for the desktop simulation. So as I said before, I don't have any interests or whatever in PMDG, so I don't advertise for them, but I would recommend it. It's definitely nice. The registration of this one.
By the way, is there anyone on board who knows how to fly a plane?
Hey, Rick, thank you for the follow. Thank you very much. Let's see with the of the outside views. Go back to this. Then look outside at registration. Where's the registration mark? I don't know where my views are anymore. No! Registration mark should be here. Papa Tango Mike Uniform Echo. Yeah. So you said it was Mike Uniform Alpha, no, so it's a different one. Hey, I'm 320. How are you doing, sir? Welcome back. I'm doing fantastic, thank you. What about you? It just arrived in Bogota after a 2-hour and 25-minute flight, something. It was a great arrival into Bogota. Floated it a little bit, did a little floaty. But hey, we still stayed on the runway, remained on the runway. So as long as you remain on the runway, it's happy days. And I'm happy that the scenery actually worked out. There was no issues with the scenery, because on final approach you see the airport that kind of sits on the plateau. That's to correct for the elevation, so that the airport elevation basically matches all the navigation databases. Above all, if you do like a RNAV or something, that basically, like, you know, as I said, it matches with all the navigation information. But when you see a plateau like this, you kind of think, is it gonna work? That's how the, you know, you have to manage the scenery in P3D, because if you don't tweak the elevation, I think maybe the default airport is not sitting at the correct altitude. It's a bit like Quito, you know, when you flew into Quito, there's a bit of work that needs to be done with the elevation of the airport.
For takeoff.
Roger. Huh?
Hey, Giuliano, thank you for the follow.
Roger.
Welcome to the end of the flight.
What?
Flight 209er, clear for vector 324.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Yeah, this one is from VATSIM, I think. Either VATSIM or flightsim.com, I think. One of the two. But I had to do a bit of work on it, because the guy who does this, who did this scenery is kind of... I think he's a little bit struggling on some of the aspects of the scenery. Above all, with all the taxi links and things like that. I think the scenery layout is accurate, but the AFCAD behind is a little bit, so anyway. So it kind of needs a little bit of tweaking to it. But we like to tweak. Tweak. Is it still disembarking, removing the cargo? The good thing is that the scenery is working and there's no crash. That Boston thing I'll have to work out. I'm not really sure what's going on. I think it's to do with the AFCAD, to be honest. Yeah, Giuliano, it's now LATAM, and the TAM is the old livery. Yeah, it's no more like this. As I explained, it's because I didn't want to download like additional PMDG liveries, because very often they upset the settings you have in the simulator. So I decided a while ago to stick to the PMDG liveries available in the PMDG Operation Center. So that's why I didn't download the LATAM livery. And of course, I'm not sure if LATAM Peru have 777 as well. But this is an actual flight from Lima to Bogota. I think it's done on 320 or something like that. So yeah, on 320. Yep, that's just. I'm just reading your message. That's what I was saying. I think it's done on a 320 or 319, depending on the days and time of the day. But yeah, you're for the 777, you're at the limit of the aircraft here. Definitely at the limits for the max landing altitude, because we had like A340, A360, and the maximum is 84. Now the cabin altitude is still at 8,000 feet there. I'll just double check if let me see something. Yeah, now the doors are opened and everything, it's fully depressurized, yeah. Actually, if you go, because the cabin altitude, that's maybe a little bit technical as well, but it's actually based on 1013 as like the QNH if you want. So if we set 1013 here, actually the altitude might read 8,000, yeah, 7940. So that's maybe why it's still showing 8,000. But basically you saw that during the cruise the cabin was at 8,000 feet, and by the time we are now on the ground it's still 8,000 feet. So the cabin didn't move basically, which normally from the cruise to get back to sea level the cabin would have to descend, of course, and then equalize the pressure. But in this instance the cabin stayed where it is, so it doesn't make a difference whether you're in the aircraft at 8,000 feet like pressurized or you're sitting on the ground. Yeah, I mean you can do I go back to the QNH. You can do any flights with this. You're not limited to 10-hour flights. You can do 40-minute flights if you want, up and down 18,000 feet or whatever. It does the same job. And in a kind of commercial sense of the world, if you have the demand for, you know, flights on a short route, if you can fill up the aircraft, then it's profitable. It's just that you need to have the demand, you know, to fill up like a 300-seater. It's maybe not that easy, but yeah, if you have regularly 300 passengers, even if it's a 1-hour flight, then it will make money. So yeah. Oh well, that was a good one. Enjoyed that one. That was really good. See a little bit of Bogota. You have to be on the approach. You have to be quite proactive. Don't let the speed get away from you, because otherwise then you can't really recover. In Brazil you have SBKP. SBKP is at Campinas. And SBCT. SBCT, I'm not sure which one it is. 747 freighter and 777 freighter, 40 minutes only. Wow. Yeah. It's once again, you know, if you have the load for it, then why not? Huh? If you know, if you don't have the like a good route network, for example, to transport things, or very often as well, if you have a short flight like this, the airline will take a little bit of cargo in the first place, then in the second place, and then will continue to a third destination. Oh yeah, Curitiba. Okay, Curitiba is SBCT. SBKP is Campinas. Huh? So Campinas to Curitiba, and then possibly go onwards to another place. Otherwise, maybe on the ground, there's no good road network or something. So for transportation, maybe it's the only way to get from A to B or from B to A. So I was thinking on. So it's a viable option, of course, definitely. Curitiba. I like that word in Portuguese / Brazilian. Curitiba. Yeah, hopefully the situation in Brazil is improving a bit because it's not doing so great the last few weeks. Yeah. Anyway, I'll head into the sunset. Once again, guys, thank you very much for all the support today, all the new follows, Ralba, the bits, and 777 Blake for the subscription as well. I do appreciate all the support. I hope you enjoyed the flight. Once again, kind of shed a little bit of light, in particular on the Bogota thing. Lima is pretty much sitting at sea level. Coastline airport, which was a little bit misty this morning, but I'm sure it's going to clear up during the day. It's just a bit of humidity coming from the vast ocean right next to the airport, the great old Pacific Ocean. But yeah, Bogota is interesting with the elevation and the fact that it's almost as high an airport as you can go to on a 777. A place like, for example, La Paz in Bolivia, which sits at 12,000 feet. I'm not really sure what the score is for a 777 there. I might need like special dispensation or this special setup to actually fly there because it's sitting at 12,000 feet or something. But as far as I'm concerned, 8,400 is the maximum. So yeah, interesting place. Higher than the likes of Addis or which is also around 7.5 or something. The one in Nepal, I forgot the name of it, which actually is only around 4,500 - 5,000 feet. Johannesburg is high as well, 5.5. There's quite a few places in the US. A lot of airports around the Rockies, you know, like Denver, for example, is quite high as well. So one of these. Wow, good luck with the 340 there. Good luck with the 340 because the 340, 300 in particular, is a bit of a dog performance-wise, so it doesn't really climb very well. So yeah, good luck with an aircraft like that. Yeah, Denver is a nice airport indeed. Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys. As I said, I hope you enjoyed your flight. Hopefully, we'll see you on the next one. I'll keep you advised for the next one, both on the Discord and also on the Twitch schedule. I think we'll maybe go back to the 747. Use it a little bit more since it's a new addition to the fleet. Maybe we'll do a 777 flight. I still have to decide what it's gonna be, but I'm sure it'll be another exciting one. But for today, yeah, that's gonna be me. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it once again, and until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.